Welcome to Books and Crannies.
A book lovers podcast. I don't think I've ever said that line.
I know. I'm like, we switched here.
What's happening?
I don't know how I feel.
Off. The whole thing's ruined.
Yeah, let's
just
start
kidding.
over.
Yeah. I'm Danielle.
I am Sarah.
And y'all, this week we are still in freaking Silver Flames.
You knew that.
You did.
Come on.
We're doing chapters 39 through 58.
Yeah.
And this section is wild a little bit.
It is wickety whack.
Wickety whack. And we set you at a great ending again unintentionally.
We did.
Yeah.
We just have a knack for
We
that.
apparently do, I guess.
Yeah.
We just randomly pick crap and then it's like...
We really just go on page number and...
I know, but I liked it.
It works out.
I liked it.
Yeah.
It was a sweet ending.
Yeah. But I think we're just going to dive right in, y'all.
Yeah, we probably should.
Yeah.
It's getting late.
It's going to be... Oh, I feel like it's going to be a long episode.
They're
a lot
always
to talk
long.
about.
Yeah. Well, anyway, where did we start and leave off?
Grab a freaking snack and a drink.
Oh, shoot! And a blankie.
Do your chores, but no vacuuming.
No making popcorn. Well, I guess you could do that and then start the episode.
Yeah. Make your popcorn, rewind back to the beginning.
Or you can skip all of this nonsense while you make popcorn.
Yeah.
Anyway, my goodness. Where did we leave off last week? Because I actually don't remember. Oh.
We left off with Gwen teaching Nesta the, mind-stilling techniques.
And she was like, wow, I feel so calm and content.
Yeah.
And swell.
I'm so happy.
Cool, dudes.
Heck yizzle.
Yeah. And then, where did we start, Sarah?
Well.
You have to tell me, because I don't know.
We do.
We. You and all of your personalities.
Accurate.
Yeah. Same, it's fine.
Well, we start off. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
We start off with Cassian.
If you hear any wild laughter in the background, it's a ghost. Just kidding.
A ghost.
We have an audience today.
We do.
Yeah.
Anywho,
Tell me.
we start off this section with Cassian taking Nesta to the blacksmith.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Freaking yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude. Frick. Yeah. He like offered it up to all the ladies who are training, right?
Yeah, he wants them all, I guess, to see how a blade is made before they ever have to use one.
Yeah,
so they can appreciate the beauty and the art of it. It's not just a weapon.
Yeah, all the love and labor that goes into it.
Yeah, so they go to the blacksmith, and the blacksmith guy, I don't know if he has a name or if they just keep calling him the blacksmith. I don't.
Guy, that's his name.
Yep. Guy shows her, tells her all about the process of making a blade. Mm-hmm. Kind of walks her through it.
Yeah. And they're in, the firing room. Do you have hair?
I do. Oh, there's many. Oh, God.
How did you start eating your hair? Come on.
Sure. I got it.
Okay. But they're in the room where it's hot.
Yeah.
Where the fire's at.
Yeah, and she asks if they can go somewhere quieter.
Uh-huh.
And get away.
Yeah, because
from the crackling.
We know that's not good times.
Yeah.
For Nesta, it's bad times.
It is bad times.
But she does end up going back in.
Yeah.
To see if she can slap him around. She asks him if she could try.
Yeah, she wants
to slap him.
She wants to do some slapping.
Some banging, I think is what I was going to say first. But that's a little more suspicious.
That's later.
It'll come. Everything's going to feel like an innuendo. This book is basically...
It's erotica.
It is. Do you have a quote?
I do.
What the heck does it say, dude?
Well, Nesta's pounding.
Uh-huh.
She's pounding her blades. And Cassian's just, admiring her. Mm-hmm. And so that's what this quote is about.
Great.
We're on page 415.
Word.
Cassian was only half listening when the blacksmith brought out a great sword. But he snapped to attention as Nesta fell upon it in one smooth movement, the hammer striking clear and true. Strike after strike, and Cassian could have sworn the world paused as she unleashed herself with the same intensity she brought to training. The blacksmith smiled at her the first time Cassian had ever seen the male do so. So he doesn't have a name.
The male. Why wouldn't Cassian know his... I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay. I interrupted myself. It's fine. Nesta's arm arched above her, the hammer gripped in her clenched fingers. It was a dance, each of her movements timed to the ringing echo of the hammer on the blade. She pounded the sword to a music no one but she could hear. Cassian let her keep at it, the rain and the wind rustling the thatched roof, a distant counterbeat above them, and began to wonder what would emerge from the heat and shadows. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like you were reading that quote. Are we okay?
Yeah.
You reading that quote just made me feel like... Hey, I need to realize... Made me feel like there's a theme in this section.
Yeah.
Of music.
Yeah.
And Nesta's love and draw to it.
Mm-hmm.
She was pounding to the
Why
beat.
was that funny?
I wasn't laughing at that. I was laughing at our awkward weirdness because we both got weird and giggly for a second. Any freaking way, dude. She's pounding to the music. Nobody can hear.
Is. Yep.
And is that all they do there?
Yeah, they leave, I think. Yeah.
Why doesn't Cassian know his name?
Aren't
they like close buds and he goes there all the time?
Thought so, yeah.
All right.
I mean, why else would the blacksmith let Nesta come in and pound her swords?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It does sound suspicious.
It does.
Innuendos left and right. Anyway, where do they go?
Well, after that, we jump to training.
Oh.
And Cassian lets them start with swords.
Oh, yeah?
But they're wooden swords, I think.
Let's the other ladies.
Maybe not.
Because didn't Nesta at the end of the last section, like, do real well with a practice sword?
Maybe.
There was a whole quote, I think. I read about it.
Okay.
But anyway, they're practicing with swords?
They're practicing with swords. And freaking, you know who shows up?
Who?
The little Lucian.
Lucian!
Dog.
That's right. Lulu.
L-Dog.
Lulu.
Dog.
You don't like when I call him Lulu.
I don't. Makes me think of my cat.
Well, Lulu's here.
L-Dog.
Didn't like Reese and Feyre send him to get an unbiased opinion on Nesta's progress?
They did, yeah. Yeah, Lucian tells Cassian that he's there to meet with Feyre, and she sent him up to check on Nesta.
Yeah.
Oh, and while they're talking, Nesta's like sparring with a fucking tree branch or something. She's like practicing.
Oh, yeah. She's beating the crap out of
beating it.
Something.
Yep.
A log.
She is beating it.
We aren't even to the sauce yet.
Yeah.
We just got sauce on the mind. Pesto.
Alfredo.
Tomatoes.
All the good sauce.
Dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they chat for a little bit, and then I think Lucian leaves. Or maybe he doesn't. Maybe he stays and witnesses this next thing. But Nesta stops sparring, and Cassian walks up to the fucking tree stump that she was punching, and there's freaking a hole.
There's a hole. All the way down to the wood.
It's a tree stump. What do you mean all the way down to the wood?
Well, I think it was like padded to be punched.
Oh, you're probably right.
Yeah, Sarah, come on.
Yeah. But yeah, there's like a burn mark.
But it's all the way to the core of the wood. Like,
yeah,
the whole thing is like smoldering.
It's burning.
She, like, channeled her power and magics.
Lucian is still there. Because he's like, oh, God. Mother, spare you all. And he says it multiple times.
Yeah.
He's, like, freaked out by it.
He's ominous as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nessa just leaves, too. She doesn't say anything about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I burned a hole with my cold fire into that trunk.
Shh. It's fine.
Baby.
I'm not working anything out at all.
I'm perfectly fine.
Yeah, that's nuts. Her magic is something else. It's a little spooky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then we jump to the next afternoon.
Uh-huh.
And they're in the Hewn City.
Oh, boy.
And freaking Helion shows up.
Yeah. On a freaking
Pegasus.
A Pegasus.
Yep.
And I like how the plural of Pegasus is Pegasuses.
It's not Pegasi.
Yeah. But I guess platypus is platypuses.
Puses. Yep.
That is really unnecessary. But he does fly down on a Pegasus, and everyone's admiring his Pegasus.
Yep.
Apparently he has a couple of them, but they haven't mated in a long time. So there's been no baby Pegasuses.
Sure.
I don't know if I should say Pegasuses as much. It's throwing me off. Anyway.
Are you okay?
No, I'm not.
I had a page number written down, and my only note that I have for that quote is funny.
Oh.
But I just read it, and it's not funny at all. So I'm not gonna read it.
Okay, what was it about?
Helion and the Pegasus.
Great.
My God.
We're set up for a weird one again.
Mm-hmm.
Carry on.
I like it.
Yeah, me too.
But while he's there, they tell him about Feyre's pregnancy.
Yes.
Reese lets down the shield so he can smell it.
Smell it.
Which is still real bizarre to me.
She smells sweet. It's like a sweet something. Mm-hmm. And he congratulates her. Helion's really excited.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like buds. I like Feyre and Helion's relationship.
They've got a fun relationship.
Yeah, she's like, I missed you, friend.
Yeah.
And takes his arm.
Yeah.
And why is he
And he's like, I guess I missed you too, Cursebreaker.
Yeah.
Oh, cute buddies.
And the way he's described, like, he's got a wild, pointy crown that's like the sun, and he's just in sandals and shit. Yeah. And it's winter, Helion. You didn't have some freaking winter clothes?
I mean, he's freaking summer.
Day.
Same difference.
Yeah, no. Nope, not at all.
Come on.
But
Reese tells... Or maybe not. I don't know. It's all friggin' whatever.
Right.
But Reese wants to tell Helion about pregnancy because he wants to use his libraries to see if he can't figure out how to save Feyre.
Yeah. And the baby, potentially.
And, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. That's dangerous territory.
Yeah.
Those freaking high fae pelvies.
Yeah. But... Pelvies.
Yeah, I know.
Interesting.
Keep going.
Helion is in the Hewn City to... I kind of forgot this. He's in the Hewn City to check out the Autumn Court soldiers that they kept.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about them.
And see if he can break the spell that's on him.
And, teach Nesta about warding or something, right? There's multiple reasons this man's
no,
here.
That's not yet. That's way later, friend.
What? All right, tell me.
That's way later. Or maybe it's not. I don't know.
Guys, we swear we read.
I know. Oh, no, it is right now. It's
Come on.
For the friggin'... I was thinking about the harp and...
No, the harp is later, for sure.
But anyways, he's there to check out the soldiers. And he discovers, after looking at him, talking to him, meeting him, there's no spell for him to break.
I know. Which they gather to mean...
Yeah.
That friggin'... Breelin's got that crown. She's
got the freaking crown, y'all.
Dude.
That's bad news bears.
That's real bad news bears. She can control anybody.
Yeah.
And make them do her bidding. Yeah. Me and my stuttering over words is out of control all the time.
Bad. Yeah. So yeah, they come to their own conclusion that she has the crown. And so they tell Helion about the trove.
Yeah. They loop him in.
They give him the lowdown.
The lowdown.
I'm gonna get there. Give me a freaking second. Oh, so they suspect that because Breelin was made, she's been scrying for the freaking things too, and so she knew that the mask was in the bog.
Yeah.
Of Urid.
Uh-huh.
And planted the Autumn Court soldiers there to, intercept them. Because she had suspicions that they were also trying to find them.
Yeah, she didn't want to do the dirty work.
Yeah, she's like, I'm going to plant these guys here to steal the crown, or steal the mask when you guys find it, and then I'm going to
take it. It's mine. Except those Autumn soldiers could not stand up to two Illyrians. Come on.
Come on.
Casriel, please.
So yeah, they then ask Helion to help Nesta. Or show Nesta how to create a word for the Maas.
Yeah, but doesn't he just end up doing it and take her blood to tie her to it?
He does, yeah, because she asks him to. She's like, I don't want to know how to access this.
Well, he does. He sets the wards up using her blood, and then he asks if she wants to know how to take them down in case they need to. Mm-hmm. And she's like, nope. So he tells Reese instead.
Yeah. And when they go into the room and, like, take the freaking, I don't know, I just picture they have, like, a velvet cloth over this thing, and they take it off, and Helion's like, oh, God.
It's terrible.
He's, like, more affected than anyone else.
Yeah,
which
that?
is interesting.
I wonder if it's, like, a night court thing. I mean, although, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's just, like, day and light and happy, you know what I mean? So maybe it's that, because it's dark and spoopy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, no, he theorizes that perhaps one of his ancestors, like, used the mask before, so it's, like, in his blood.
There's a reason.
To be weary of it.
Yeah. So I'm glad that, like, got worded and Nesta can be kept away.
Yeah.
Because poor girl, she's like, I don't trust myself with that thing.
Yep.
I want to feel nothing by putting it on.
Yeah, and Nesta not only doesn't want to know how to access them, but she also is worried that, like, if she gets captured by Breelin, she doesn't want to know the knowledge. So if, like, Breelin tortures her, she can't tell her how to get the mask.
Yeah.
You might have said that. If you did, I'm sorry.
No, I didn't. Okay. I feel like that's a fair worry because everyone is, like, eyes on Nesta.
Absolutely, yeah. She's big, spooky, scary, mysterious.
Scary.
Spooky.
And also spooky. Stop it.
She's so spooky.
She's real spooky.
Yeah.
That's the point, okay? But yeah, that makes sense. That's fair.
Yeah.
Good thing it's freaking tied up now, though.
Yeah.
Because it was just opening doors all willy-nilly.
I know.
It's saying, hey,
Nesta, come hang out, girl. Come on.
Wear me. You know you wanna.
Come on. Look how pretty I am.
We can raise the dead. Bring back your father.
You and me together.
Can you imagine? No thanks. That's terrifying.
Absolutely.
Because it doesn't restore them. It just brings them in their freaking decimated state.
Yeah, no thanks.
Have to no thanks.
But then they all have a conversation, Feyre and Reese and Cassian, and maybe everyone else too, I don't know. Maybe Azriel's there, who knows?
Some people.
Who actually knows?
Likely most of the inner court, all of it except more, is my guess.
Probably, yeah. But anyway, they have a conversation about if Cassian should tell Eris about everything that they know.
Oh, yeah.
And Cassian's pretty against it, but Reese and Feyre are like, well,
we gotta.
He's our freaking ally, so whether we like it or not, we gotta freaking tell him.
Frick. Eris is kind of a wiener, but I guess we'll let him know what's good.
Yeah. Oh, well, they tell him that oh my god.
You're pulling a me.
Yeah. He has to tell Eris about the soldiers, but not about the mask, which makes sense.
Oh.
Why are we going to give him that information? Come on. I really need a drink.
That's fair. Are we ever going to find out what Eris actually did with Mor in that instance?
I don't know. It's mentioned again later on.
Yeah, but they still don't tell us.
But there's no, like, details about it.
No, they don't say shit. Basically, he's like, Mor knows, but she won't tell anyone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but why?
Can we know, please?
Can I know, please? And I don't remember if it comes up.
I really don't like feeling left out.
Yeah, FOMO.
Come on. But during this conversation, Azriel is here because he wants to go to the freaking human lands.
Yeah,
to scope out the queen.
Yeah, but Feyre's like, nah, dude.
Feyre and Reese are both like, hell no, dude.
We're not trying to get you captured.
Heck no, dog.
No. Especially, I mean, can you imagine the queen with her crown being able to control Azriel?
Yeah, and that's their worry. They're like, we can't let you get caught and have her use this crown on you. And they also tell him he has to pull all of his spies out. Because if they get caught, they have information that she shouldn't have.
I know. And Az is like kind of offended. He's like, you know I'm real good at what I do.
Yeah. I'll be fine.
I'm a boss-ass
You know I am a shadow wielder, right?
I am in shadows. They won't see me.
Come on.
But they don't.
Shadow wielder? He's a shadow singer.
Come on.
I'm getting books mixed up.
Yeah.
I'm getting my shadow daddies confused.
You sure are. Yeah, no, we're talking about the singing one, okay? The one who shadows sing the news.
Daddy.
Anywho, after they deny Az.
they deny us, and then we skip to Nesta. Back at the house.
Good old Nesta.
She's reading a book.
Of course.
And it's a book she asked the house for something that Cassian would read.
I know, which is cute.
I'm like, oh.
Just freaking tell each other you love each other.
But yes, this book, she basically says that she, like, wants to learn how to use herself as a weapon rather than having someone else use her as a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So she's learning about her training and stuff and how to...
She wants to be able to, like, command a force.
Yeah.
Like
Valkyries.
Yeah. I don't know what I was trying to say, but I couldn't get there.
You got it.
She wants to command her own little legion, maybe is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's just, yeah.
She's just, yeah. But later that evening, Cassian comes to give her a book.
Mm-hmm.
Or more books or something. And as he's leaving, Nesta's like, well, did you not have fun last time? Did you not enjoy it?
Yeah.
Talking about the sex.
The sex. Yeah. Last time they shared a bed, it was at the one time.
Yep. It was then.
Wasn't it like a holiday? Something happened.
I don't know.
Am I tripping?
I don't know.
Maybe. Anyway.
It's been a whole week.
It was the first time they, like, banged. It wasn't just foreplay.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyway, they haven't done it since then.
Yeah. But they do.
Oh, do they?
She asks him, and he's like, let me show you.
Of course I had a good time.
Yeah.
What's that voice? I'm not sure.
Why is he British all of a sudden?
I really didn't like it.
I didn't either.
But nonetheless, yeah. Bang, bang, bang.
Bang, bang, bang. Bang. Bang is the word.
You just kept going, and I didn't expect it to go on that long.
I didn't really mean to. I got stuck.
You were looping.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
You just got your episode name. Bang is the word.
Yes, absolutely.
Bang is the word. Somebody remember. Write it down. Anyway, they do some banging.
They do. And after they do their banging, Nesta's like, man, I already want you again. How is that possible? And she actually, it isn't, I want you. She's like, I still need you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
they keep describing this weird, like, primal draw they have to one another that's, like, overwhelming, and I'm like, I wonder
what they could be.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna fucking say it.
I know!
There's no way they're not friggin' mates.
Obviously.
Come on!
Obviously.
It becomes so glaringly obvious in this section.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's very obvious. I feel like it has been since freaking neither of them can, like, stay away from one another.
Yeah.
Cass is constantly putting his life on the line for her since he met her.
Yeah.
Obviously, guys. Obviously.
Yeah. And after they have this conversation, anyone who's fucking read this book knows this is when Cassian tells her, grab onto the headboard and don't let go.
I was wondering what you were going to say because I forgot. But that is a very classic Cassian line.
Oh, sorry. It's not don't let go. Grab onto the headboard and hold on tight.
Hold on tight.
Oh, baby.
Okay, Cassian.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
Yes, please.
Don't gotta tell me twice.
Say less. Yeah. It's like your bang loop.
There's another good episode title idea.
Your bang loop?
Your bang loop.
That sounds suspicious.
Yeah.
But I like it at the same time.
But any hoodle.
Then what?
The next morning. Let me tell you.
Please.
The next morning, Cassian is summoned to the river house.
They're saying, Cassian,
we need you.
in their mind speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I assume.
And when he arrives,
What the dang heck happens, dude?
Do you know?
Mm-mm.
Well, this is when.
I'm really sorry, guys. This is wild. So Cassian gets called to the river house.
Yeah, he does.
Tell me why, because I don't remember.
Okay, well, he gets there, and Reese is like, hey, buddy, the blacksmith came and visited me.
Oh, now I remember.
And dropped off these 3 freaking blades.
Yeah!
What the heck, dog?
Dog! He said they're cursed or something.
Yeah.
That's what the blacksmiths, said. And it's because they're the ones Nesta freaking pounded on.
Nesta hammered off. What?
Sarah!
Oh, that was the middle of a sentence. That's why. The blacksmith dropped off the freaking blades Nesta hammered off to Reese.
Yeah.
In a panic about him being cursed.
Yeah, he was real spooked.
Yep.
But they freaking became a new trove.
Yeah.
Did I spoil something for me?
I mean, you went way far ahead.
I'm sorry.
Buddy. Jeez.
Buddy. Tell me about
There's a quote I have. We learned some, history here about elemental fae.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a lot.
That was interesting.
It was very interesting. So, Reese tells them all about these elemental fae.
Yeah, these are early fae.
And I just have a small quote I want to read about it.
Okay. What page?
It's what Reese says. We're on page 443.
443.
And Reese says, once the high fae were more elemental, more given to reading the stars and crafting masterpieces of art and jewelry and weaponry. Their gifts were rawer, more connected to nature, and they could imbue objects with that power. And then Cassian says, Nesta put her power in these swords? ? Amryn says, no one has been able to create a magic sword in more than 10,000 years. The last one made the great blade Gwydion. Did I say blade?
You might have. And I also thought when you said rawr, you said raw.
That sounded an awful lot like
Rawer. Amryn says, I'm going to restart this quote. No one has been able to create a magic sword in more than 10,000 years. The last one made, the great blade Gwydion, vanished around the time the last of the trove went missing.
The blade was named Gwydion?
Yeah.
I thought that was a person.
No.
Oh.
The great blade Gwydion.
Oh. Well, don't they... Okay. We could talk about it later.
Okay.
Gwydion comes up again, and I absolutely thought it was a person.
Nope.
All right.
It's a freaking sword.
I didn't pay attention, apparently.
So yeah, basically they come to the conclusion that Nesta created a new magic sword, and there's no made weapons anymore. But
Yeah.
she just freaking made 3.
I know. A
Without
dagger
even knowing what she was doing.
She was just channeling her power into it.
Mm-hmm.
And happened to create a new trove.
Yeah.
They were it's akin to the Dread Trove. This is another fancy magic trove, and we are scared of it.
Yeah.
Spoopy.
I was being a little dramatic when I said you jumped way ahead.
I know.
But yeah, Amryn calls them, she insists that Nesta can't know about it.
Yeah.
Worried about what she would do with it.
I really hate this part.
I do too.
I hate that they decide to, something so big, keep from Nesta. Mm-hmm. I know that they've kept her out of loop for a long time, but I'm one, it's a safety issue.
Absolutely.
She can't just be going around making shit.
Making a bunch of magical weapons.
That's dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Amryn calls them not a dread trove, but a trove of nightmares.
Yeah. Big spoop.
And then all of the boys during all of this are like, I want to touch them. Let's play with them.
Yeah.
Let's see what they can do.
Unsheath them with your magic, Reese.
Come on,
so cool.
Yeah, so Amryn leaves and he does.
Yeah.
They're playing with him.
Yeah. Why are they frat boys all of a sudden?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, he uses his dark shadow magic because nobody wants to touch it. Because that's scary. And unsheaths, and they're looking at it.
Oh, hang on a second.
Oh.
Before they unsheath the weapons, after Amryn leaves, Reese tells Cassian and Azriel that he can't find any information to help Pharaoh with the baby.
Yeah, he says that, like, the Peregrine and the Seraphim have bendy wings.
Yeah, the Seraphim wings are flexible.
Yeah.
So Miriam and Drakan weren't not able to help. Weren't not. And the Peregrine peeps, too. Yeah.
They have flexible wingies.
Yeah.
That sucks.
But Helion's gonna look into his libraries and see if he can find anything.
Yeah.
And then they decide to play with the swords.
Yeah.
Or the blades.
And they're, like, turning them around. And the sword sounds dope.
It does.
It's, like, sparkly and magical. It looks like it's got fire magic in it.
Yeah.
Weird cold flame.
Yeah. The great sword literally glows like moonlight. I misspelled something in my notes and I don't know what it says, and it's a quote, so I'm kind of pissed.
Oh no.
Without a page number.
Dang it.
But yeah, they say it's like moonlight within the metal or something.
Yeah.
The other blades don't sparkle, but they can like feel the power.
Yeah.
Feel the power.
Yeah, the sword, the sparkly boy, is the one that she was pounding the longest.
The biggest.
Amryn asks, like, was that the one that she was pounding the most?
Yeah, because while they're doing this, Amryn comes back, and
Yeah.
she's like, oh, I knew you guys
You
do that,
idiots.
dummies.
You stupid bad boys. Yeah, I love Amryn, and she's sassy as hell, and I want to be your friend. But yeah, she comes back in and, like, kind of reprimands them, but also is fascinated by the swords.
Yeah.
Weapons.
And after she comes back, she also tells them about another magic sword called Narbin.
Narbin. What kind of stupid ass name is that?
Compared to Gwydion?
I know.
I'm like, Narbin?
It's a bad one. Like, was that some grandpa name? And they were like, I named it after my great-grandfather, Narbin the Great.
It's possible, because she tells them, Narbin... It just sounds wrong to say.
It's not good.
Narbin was older than Gwydion.
So,
great-grandpa.
Yeah.
And Amarantha.
I don't know, sure.
That's how Sarah J. Maas says it.
I know,
Amarantha.
but that's trash, too.
That's
much
how I
like
said it.
Resand. I think Amarantha.
I said
Amarantha sounds smarter.
I said Amarantha and then let you convince me otherwise.
All right, I'm wrong, but I'm going to say Amarantha forever.
Oh, well, I'm going to say...
Great. Try to repeat that every time you need to say her name.
But anyway.
Yeah.
She's the one, the red bitch. She's the one who destroyed Narbin.
Damn
because it wouldn't come to her hand.
She was just...
And she's pissed.
A child. Toddler.
And she also didn't want the King of Hybern to get his hands on
I
it,
guess that's
she's
fair.
a greedy bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, but also same.
Yeah, but Narb's gone. Gwydion? Is that lost? Like, they don't know what happened to it?
I don't know.
I thought that
That's
one
a
of
great
them, they were
question.
like, it's lost somewhere. in
the
the ocean.
It dropped it in the ocean somewhere. That's
Yeah.
right. Thank you, Peanut Gallery.
Our audience is giving us help. Audience. It's one person. Anyway.
Anywho.
But then, isn't this when Amryn starts talking to good old Reese
about being High King?
Yeah, I have a quote.
Okay, cool.
She is, like, pushing him about this. She's like, dude, you got 3 made weapons.
Yeah.
You have a trove of your own. And you're, like, the best dude around.
Yeah.
We all love you. You could do a great job as High King. And he says, excuse me, I have bubbles in my throat. This is on page 452. Reese says, I will not be the High King. I will not consider it, not today, and not in a century. Amryn goes on to say, then explain to me why, after thousands of years, objects that once crowned and aided the old Fae have returned. The last time a High King ruled Prythian, it was with a magic sword in his hand. Look at that great sword before you, Reese, and tell me that it is not a sign from the cauldron itself. Cassian chimes in. He says, it's a fluke, Amryn. Nestor didn't make it on purpose. And then Amren goes on to say, nothing is a fluke. The cauldron's power flows through Nesta and could use her as a puppet without her knowledge. It wanted those weapons made, and thus they were made. It wanted Rhys to have them, and thus the blacksmith brought them to you. To you, Rhys, not to Nesta. And do not forget that Nesta herself, and Elaine, with whatever powers she has, is here. Feyre is here. All three sisters, blessed by fate and gifted with powers to match your own. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Feyre alone doubles your strength. Nesta makes you unstoppable, especially if she were to march into battle wearing the mask. No enemy could stand against her. She'd slay Baron's soldiers, then raise them from the dead and turn them on him. And I'm like, dude, can you imagine? What if that happens?
I know, it might.
Eventually.
It might.
Because I know it doesn't happen in this book. But
no.
That...
Spoiler.
I know. Sorry, guys. Sorry, spoilers. But yeah, that would be nuts.
Yeah.
And I feel like Rhys is a decent choice to rule all the lands.
For sure.
I like him.
I mean, he's fine. He's kind of pissed me off in this book
Yeah,
a
he's
little
been
bit.
a wiener. But, I mean, to be fair, his mate is Prager.
I guess.
Fae act on all these dumb instincts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They
It's
can't
not
control
him,
it
it's his
necessarily.
Body reacting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the mating pole.
Yeah.
But anyway, he will not even slightly entertain the idea.
No. He's like, no, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Absolutely
That's really
not.
dumb. He's like, we would, everyone would have to bend the knee, and that
Yeah.
would just break Prithian.
Yeah. Yeah, he worries about his allies, thinking he, betrayed them, I guess.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
His closest ones would probably do it.
Yeah.
But then you think about Baron and fucking Tampon. God,
Screw
Tampon.
those guys. Why are we even considering their feelings?
Yeah, nobody cares about them. Shit, Baron's in alliance with Breelyn.
Come on.
He's already traitorous.
Yeah.
So he's not an ally, obviously, even though you got Eris.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, side tangent. Rude. Carry on. What happens next? I don't remember.
Cassian and Nesta go to the Spring Court
to
meet with Eris.
Yeah.
Good old Eris.
Yeah.
And when they get there, Nesta notes that she feels like a dork. Nope.
A dork?
She feels like a dork. She feels like a dark storm cloud in the Spring Court, but notes that it had been made for someone like Elaine.
Yeah.
Which made me think I said something once upon a time about Elaine possibly ending up with Tamlin.
You might have. I don't know if you said it here, but...
Maybe. I don't know.
You might have just told me.
It just made me, like,
but why
would she specify that,
Yeah, that's fair. But, Lucian lived in the Spring Court forever.
Yeah, but he doesn't really anymore. Tamlin fucking kicked him out.
Well, he's the liaison. He's the only one checking in on him anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
But also...
But is he still? Because he got kicked out. Tamlin gave all his shit away.
Oh, that's true. He sent him to the Band Axe house.
And Tamlin's like a beast now.
Yeah, he's a weird rabid beast.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that would be actually terrible.
Yeah, like, where would that even come
Not
from?
Not that I really care about Elaine, let's be honest.
Same.
But, at least at this point, like, you gotta give me more about Elaine for me to care about her.
Yeah.
Although I like her more in this book than I have before.
I guess.
A little bit.
She's still kind of just useless.
Yeah, but
and
why
everyone
would
fucking
she
coddles her.
Yeah.
Oh, Elaine can't be subjected to that kind of darkness. Fuck you, Azriel.
Oh, Az, the one time I'm mad at you. All the bad boys are pissing me off except for Cass this book.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be very bizarre.
Yeah,
I just would
be.
like, what are the circumstances to bring those two together?
Maybe we'll find out.
But the Spring Court is very much Elaine vibes.
I guess. Yeah, with all the flowers.
Yeah.
And
Cassian's still very much like allergic as hell.
He's all itchy.
Nessa's like, what's wrong with you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then Eris comes and Cassian tells him about the two soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
And Eris is kind of like a dick about it. He's
yeah.
Like, you left those two alone, or you were able to leave two alive. How couldn't you leave them all alive? Or something like that.
Is Eris drunk? Or?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah. He's getting saucy with Cass.
Yeah, he's being a jerk pants.
Naturally.
And Cassian argues that, they tried to spare more than two, but, like, they were fucking rabid.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
We had to do what we had to do to get out of there, buddy.
Come on.
And Nesta starts arguing with him.
Nesta should be the courtier.
She should. She's like, hey, listen up.
She's fiery.
Azrael was shot with a fucking ash arrow.
Yeah, bro.
Who's to say that didn't come from you?
Yeah.
I mean, it clearly came from freaking Autumn Court, but maybe you gave it to him on purpose, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it kind of like takes Eris back because he's like, oh shit. Yeah, we do have ash arrows that we've been growing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's for Baron, obviously.
Obviously.
Come on. Definitely not for you guys.
But they go back and forth a little bit, and Eris starts flirting with Nesta.
Oh, yeah. He likes her. He likes a strong woman.
I also think that he knows that Cassian's, like...
fond of her.
Yeah, and so he's trying to fuck with Cassian because they've got this weird shit going on.
Yeah.
I am cussing a lot. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Who cares? As if it's the first time.
But then Tamlin appears.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, get off of my land.
Sounds like Shrek.
Yeah. Get out of my swamp.
I have a quote.
Okay.
All right. It's on page freaking 459.
Yep, I have that one too.
Do you want to read it?
No.
All right. Nesta didn't care. This is when Tam approaches, and she's like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Nesta,
Unfazed.
yeah. Nesta didn't care if he'd come to help during the final battle with Hybern. Tamlin had hurt Feyre unforgivably. So, another moment where she's like showing she cares for Feyre to everyone but Feyre.
Yeah.
It had never concerned her before, irked her, yes, but Nesta found her fingers curling, found her lips peeling back from her teeth as she snarled. Her youngest sister had been taken by this male because Nesta herself hadn't been able to face him. Tamlin had even looked at her and asked if she wanted, or if she'd go in Feyre's place, and she had said no because she was a hateful, horrible coward. She would not be a coward now. Dun, dun, dun.
And doesn't she, like, point a finger at him and he, like, moves out of the way of her point? Like, don't point that finger at me, your death finger.
I know. After her king finger. After she...
Yikes.
I was going to say something worse.
After she fingers the king.
Exactly. You read my mind. After she pointed her death finger at the king, everyone apparently assumes that it is death.
It's a death finger.
Yeah. I don't know how much weight there is to
finger
that,
me
but all right. You best not be death fingering me. Not today. But you know what? I don't know if there's much validity behind that.
I know.
She's just like...
just a finger, y'all.
It can't hold that much power.
Settle down.
She can't just curse people with her fingers.
No.
Anyway. Yeah, she gives him her finger. And not even the middle one,
I know. Come on. That should have been the death finger. Like, hey, you're going to die now.
Yeah. That makes way more sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, she is sassy with Tam, and he like...
She is. Ugh. Yeah. And, well, when he first appears, they're like, we're leaving. And he's like, I have the right to kill anyone who trespasses on my land.
She's like, do it.
I dare you.
You won't even let me point at you, you idiot.
But after that whole interaction, they go to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And as they're like, right before they fly away, because Cassian's flying them.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Obviously.
Nesta tells Tamlin, like, if you tell anyone that you saw all three of us together, I'm going to come back and kill you.
Oh, yeah, because that's exposing their alliance.
Watch it, buddy.
Yeah. Eris is not publicly known to be in cahoots with the Night Court. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they go back. They go back to Velaris and everyone's freaking sleeping. But Nesta can't sleep, so she goes to the library.
The library?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's all alone, sitting there, just thinking.
Definitely brooding,
Yeah, for sure.
Usual Nesta wallowing.
Actually, she's not really wallowing all that much.
Oh, I lied.
She's kind of happy.
Okay.
So I'm going to read a quote here.
Do it.
This is on page 461. I have to sneeze.
I thought it was a yawn.
No. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. The spring court had felt stagnant, hollow, empty despite its growing life. But this house was alive. It welcomed her, wanted her to grow and thrive. It was a place where she might rest or explore, where she could be whoever and whatever she wished. Was that what home was? She had never learned, but this place, yes, home might be a good name for it.
There's a little paragraph after that I included in my quote.
Okay, I'll just read the whole thing. Perhaps that was what Feyre had felt too when she'd left the Spring Court and come to these lands. Perhaps Feyre had fallen in love with this court as much as she had its ruler. Something stirred in the darkness below. Nesta straightened, milk forgotten. There, in the heart of the black pit, like a tendril of smoke, something moved. It seemed to expand and contract, throbbing a wild beat. Which I thought was kind of interesting. I'm like, is that the weird creature in the darkness again? Is it Bryaxis's baby?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it something else?
I love the resolve in all of that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Spoilers. I won't say it. But yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely got to be whatever lingering darkness has been freaking a-brewing.
I don't think it is. It comes up again later.
Is an extra thing?
I mean, I guess it is the brooding darkness.
Yeah, that's been calling to her for the whole time. She's
but we learn what it is later.
Well, I know. Okay. Yeah, I absolutely do.
Okay,
shit.
But yeah, after she... after all that, Cassian comes up behind her. And he's, like, checking on her.
Yeah.
And then she turns back around after he kind of spooks her. To see if the darkness thing is still there, and it's gone.
Yeah.
Bye.
It's left.
Bye, friend.
Bye. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cass scared it away.
And after that, they go up to one of their bedrooms. I guess it's Nesta's. It's always Nesta's room.
Yeah, I don't think she's ever been to Cassian's.
And they get busy.
Bang, bang, bang again.
Yep, they do a friggin' thing.
A thing.
It's really not important, but I'm going to say it anyways.
Do it.
They 69 for the first time. She's like, oh, I've never done this and had it done to me at the same time. Oh my god.
Nice. Good for you, girl.
Get it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, more banging. They're just doing a lot of that.
There's a lot in my section specifically that I was like, I can't take notes on that. There's nothing to say that's not going to make me like a giggling fool.
Giggling fool. Yeah, most of the time, this mud I don't take notes on. Yeah, unless it's like they have sweet moments here and there. Yeah, but they get busy.
They do.
They've been doing that every night now.
They do the friggin' deed.
Multiple times, likely.
Yeah. They can't keep their hands off of each other.
Yeah, fair. Because, come on.
Yep.
Come on. We all know.
But then we jump to next morning. They're all at training. All of them.
Yeah.
And Cassian kind of calls Nesta out for trying to build a freaking Valkyrie unit.
Calls her out?
Yeah. He's like, I know what you're doing, bitch.
Oh.
You didn't have to tell me, but I know you've been practicing your mind stilling.
Oh, yeah. I could see it from a mile away.
I know what you're doing.
I was real acquainted with the Valkyries.
Yeah, we find out that he fought next to the Valkyries in the war.
Yeah.
The first war.
Yeah, and she's like, damn, I forgot how old he was.
Yeah. Age gap.
And all over the place in this book. All these bat boys.
Yep, but he tells them that he fought with them in 5 battles.
Yeah.
But most of them died in the last one. That's real sad.
Yeah.
And we learn that his first lover outside of the Night Court was a friggin' Valkyrie woman.
Yeah.
Named...
Something.
I have it written down.
It's like something Trion. Am I tripping?
Maybe.
Catrion. No, maybe that's a different book.
Absolutely
that's
a different
absolutely
book.
Iron Flame. Yeah. Yeah. I'm reading that too. God.
Tanwin.
Okay. That's entirely different.
Very.
Also, it's too close to Tamlin.
Yeah. Tanwin.
Poor girl. Tanwin. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
But Nesta's like, well, if you know what we're doing, you want to teach us some Valkyrie moves instead of these friggin' Illyrian moves?
Yeah.
And Cassian's like, no, I don't know those. What do you mean?
But he asks Gwyn to get all of the research.
He's like, give me some books and I'll learn it and then I'll teach you.
Uh-huh. So they're going to be actually becoming Valkyries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, and that's what friggin' Meryl's studying. So she's not going to get him books. She's going to get him Meryl's manuscript.
Yeah, which compiles all of the resources that they have in the library.
Yeah. And Nesta's like, well, how about instead of that, we combine them.
Yeah.
We can combine techniques.
Yeah.
And make our own friggin' hodgepodge.
Illyricary.
Yep.
Valkyrian. I don't think that one's gonna stick.
Come on.
You're fidgeting.
I was fidgeting.
I'm too. I might be picked up.
That's okay. After this, Cassian goes and meets with the rest of the inner circle, and they have an argument about if they're gonna tell Nesta about the freaking blades.
Yeah.
And they're kind of split down the middle, and so Feyre's not at the meeting for some reason. I don't remember where she is, but she's going to be the one that decides.
Amryn.
That's right. Yeah, I guess Amryn's not there either. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, they decide that Feyre's going to be the one who decides.
Yep, they put it to a vote, which is so annoying to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's rude.
Just fucking tell her.
But they still don't trust Nesta, even though Cassian has been with her day in, day out, seeing how much she's progressing and the way she's treating Gwyn and all the other priestesses and Emery. Yeah. I'm like, damn, give her a little bit
She's like a whole new
credit.
Person.
Yeah.
Come on.
Shoot.
Dogs.
But
Elaine tells them a little story about Nesta.
Oh, yeah.
And her love of dancing.
Yes.
And how when she was 14, Nesta, she stole a duke.
Yeah, right out of the nose. Out.
Right under the, right out of the sticky little fingers.
Out of under the nose, yeah.
Of a girl who was mean to Elaine.
Yeah. She, at
just
14.
Out of spite, she's like, I'm gonna seduce you with my dancing.
I'm gonna woo you with my
steal this 40-year-old man.
I know she got a proposal, but knowing she was too young.
Yeah.
And of course their dad was like, nah, dude, she's 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got crafty. Apparently she really loves music and really loves dancing. Which makes sense for all the taverns she was going to.
Yeah, she wanted the music.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Elaine's happy. She's like, I'm just happy that friggin' Nest is showing some interest in something.
Yeah.
Like this Valkyrie training.
Yeah.
So,
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Elaine's not as just enraged by Nesta right now.
Yeah. As long as Nesta's not around, I feel like she's fine.
Yeah, I feel like, it's hard.
They need some distance.
They do.
It's okay. It's okay, babes.
Distance makes the heart grow fonder.
Yes.
Yes.
But then we jump again to training the next morning.
Training time.
And Cassian just randomly, weirdly asks all of the ladies what they would name a sword.
This is such a stupid mistake on Cassian's
Yeah, and they're all like, why? Why would you ask me that, you fucking weirdo?
Yeah.
But the answers were kind of fun.
Killer.
Gwyn says, Silver Majesty, excuse me. That's horrible.
It's a priestess's blade name for sure.
Emery says, Foe Slayer.
Foe Slayer. That's bad too. They're both bad.
Nesta obviously is not going to give an answer. She's like,
you're being weird as hell, bro.
Why you asking?
Weirdo? Yeah. She says killer or something like.
Yeah.
Sillily.
Yeah.
That's not a word, but
sillily. But then a little while later, she asks him why he was pestering her, because he kept kind of pushing. Come on, tell me. Why won't you tell me, Nesta? Nesta! Nesta!
That was exactly what happened.
It was, I am Cassie.
You are, whoa!
Hey, baby.
I am aghast.
I hope Cassian isn't as awkward as I am.
He doesn't seem to be.
Maybe not.
Maybe you have Cassian swagger in you all along.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he keeps pestering us. It's like, dude, why are you being so weird?
Yeah. So he freaking tells her about the freaking blades that the blacksmith returned.
Which they had agreed to tell her, but he did it in a really bad way. He's like, yeah, we were talking about it, and we
she's
voted.
Like, we? You voted?
Yeah.
You little bitches?
What the hell? What the damn hell? You weren't going to tell me. Like, if it had come to the vote being the opposite, you just weren't going to say anything?
Right.
Which is such a stupid plan. I'm pissed. I'm pissed for her. For her. I understand why she's so upset.
Absolutely.
Because that's nonsense.
And she kind of pushes him a little bit and asks, like, who voted against me?
Yeah.
And he tells her, why would you do that, Cassian? You're being an idiot.
You're just stirring the pot, man. You're asking for drama.
And so he tells her, and she's, like, real sad about Amryn. And no, she's not sad. She's pissed.
She's mad.
She's
mad. Like, Amryn's been my one friend this whole time until I ruined it.
Yep.
And she still is voting on, like, my knowledge and fate and whatever.
Yeah.
So what's she do, Sarah?
Well, she freaking loses her mind, dude.
Yeah, she gets raging. She's raging hard.
Yeah, she goes and, like, hides in her room until Cassian goes to bed. She won't come out.
Well, she, like, pretends to run a bath. And then he, like...
He goes to bed and she fucking rages down the stairs.
She goes all the way down.
She goes all the way.
And the door just, like, flies open. It's like, welcome to Velaris.
Yep.
And she goes to freaking Amryn's house.
She does.
Apartment. Whatever.
She breaks the door down.
She, like, shatters the wards.
Yeah.
Her magic goes through Amryn's wards.
Yeah.
And Amryn, I guess, not so much anymore, but, like, is strong as shit.
Yeah.
With her magic.
I know. And she breaks the door down.
Uh-huh.
And Amryn and Varian are in there doing the deed.
Actively banging.
And she just looks at Varian and she's like, get out.
Yeah. Yeah. She can see that Nest is very upset.
Yep.
He shouldn't be here for this.
Yeah. And while Feyre's fucking bitching at Amryn, while Nesta's bitching at Amryn, Feyre shows up.
Yeah,
to
Varian,
try to,
went to go fetch her.
Yeah. Yep. And she's there to try to calm shit down.
Yeah.
And fucking Nesta,
dude.
Nesta tells...
She spills the frick beans.
Feyre about her pregnancy killing her.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
That was a bad mistake, too.
Oh,
her and Cass are just, like, fumbling. They're both being silly.
And she tells Feyre that, Rhys ordered everyone not to tell her. Which... It's
messed up.
That's bad.
That's not the way she should have found out. They should have fucking told her when they found out the baby had wings. But that's, like, besides the point. It was not Nessa's place to be the one to tell her. Especially as a way, like, to make her point.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't in a, I care about you, I'm your sister, you need to know this. It was like, I'm being a sassy bitch.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Oh, and, on the way to... While Nesta was on the way to Amryn's apartment, I think Cassian saw her, like, storming through the streets of Velaris.
Yeah.
So he's, like, around. He knows what's going on.
Yeah.
And him and Rhys talk. They do a little chat mind to mind or something.
Uh-huh.
And Rhys tells him to get Nesta out of the city before he kills her.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Feyre immediately was talking to Rhys.
Yeah.
Mind to mind, too. Like, what the dang heck, dude? And so Cass scoops her up.
He does.
Scoops Nesta up as she's just
I guess this is when he sees her running through the streets. So never mind.
She's going to a tavern or something.
Yeah, she leaves.
But
she's like, oh shit, what did I just do? I gotta go.
She immediately feels like shit about
I'm gonna
it.
run from my problems.
But, like,
go drink about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he swoops her up and she doesn't, like, fight him at all.
No.
She's like, yes, please take me out of here, oh
She
God.
just hates herself.
Yeah.
Now. Like,
sure.
she's back to the place of feeling absolutely worthless and, like, is so upset that her tongue got the best of her again. Like, this is her biggest fault, is in times where she feels defensive, she lashes out rather than, like, talking through it like a rational human being. Yeah. Or Faye, I suppose.
I have a little quote I want to read about Nesta's feelings about herself. Mm-hmm. We're on page 487.
Okay.
She had done an unforgivable thing. She deserved to be turned into bloody mist by Rhysand. Wished Cassian had not come to save her. They flew into the mountains until the sun sank behind them. By the time they landed, their this is not important. I guess I just wanted to read the unforgivable thing. She wants to be misted by Rhys.
I know. She's feeling like big poo about herself and, like, feels like she deserves a death, basically.
Yep. But yeah, he flies her out of Velaris. They, like, land in the forest somewhere and camp for the night.
Feyre, like, minds him, though. And she's like, Rhysand overreacted. Like, he's being insane. Mm-hmm. And I told him to stop it. And you guys can definitely come back.
Yeah.
And Cass is like, no, we're going to do this for a few days. I'll decide when she can come home.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, he tells her that he's going to make her hike.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, you can tell Rhys that she's going to hate every second of it. And this is her punishment.
Yeah. And Feyre says something like, Rhysand says he knows he's supposed to be remorseful, but is actually delighted.
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, he's taking her out to the Illyrian Mountains.
Mm-hmm.
And they are going on a journey. A freaking long-ass hike.
Yeah, and he's being savage with her.
Not fair.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, she won't respond.
Yeah.
Like, she just is silent, won't speak. And then anytime they, like, lay down for the night, she just passes out, won't eat in front of him.
He makes her carry a pack that's, like, the size of her.
Yeah, it's like a third of her body weight. I know.
Yep.
And they're going. It's like days of journeying.
Mm-hmm.
I have, like, a couple of quotes throughout this time.
Okay.
If you're interested. I don't know if we've gotten as far as this yet. There's not much to say about the hike, honestly.
No, I mean...
It's a long chapter of them hiking.
Yeah. When they get to, I just want to say, one little thing, and this might be a quote you're going to read, I don't know. I have a quote written down right here, so. When they get to their first resting spot on the first day of hiking, Cassian, like, throws a canteen at her and orders her to drink, and he's like, if you pass out, you're going to fall down the mountain and die, so drink some freaking water.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just, like, tell by the way her face falls in that moment that she kind of wants to die. And he's like, oh, shit, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
I kind of feel bad now.
Yeah. She doesn't care what happens to herself at this point.
She doesn't.
But on one of the mornings that she wakes up, she kept waking up in the middle of the night, like, to eat the food that Cassian put out for her before she passed out. This is on 499. Nesta found another plate waiting when she awoke to darkness. The full moon had shown her face, so bright the mountains, the rivers, the valley were illuminated enough that even the leaves on the trees far below were visible. She'd never seen such a view. It seemed like a secret, slumbering land that time had forgotten. She was nothing before that view, these mountains, as insignificant to any of it as one of the stones that still rattled in her boot. It was a blessed relief to be nothing and no one. And I liked this quote because I feel that, though. Like, the mountains take me out and make me so insignificant feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. She needed to, like, reconnect with nature and feel small.
Yeah.
Your problems can feel overwhelming and terrifying, but if you're met with something so, like, awesome and so magnificent.
Grand,
yeah. On the next page, there's another one if you want it.
Okay. Yeah.
She's thinking about, not existing. This is on page 500. Maybe it was like one of the ancient stories she'd learned as a child. He, a wicked queen's huntsman, leading her into the deep wild before carving her heart out. She wished he would. Wished someone would cut the damn thing from her chest. Wished someone would smother the voice that whispered of every horrible thing she had ever done, every awful thought she'd had, every person she'd failed. She had been born wrong. Had been born with claws and fangs and had never been able to keep from using them. Never been able to quell the part of her that roared at betrayal, that could hate and love more violently than anyone ever understood. Elaine had been the only one who perhaps grasped it, but now her sister loathed her. She didn't know how to fix it, how to make any of it right, how to stop being this way. She didn't remember a time when she hadn't been angry. Maybe before her mother had died, but even then her mother herself had been bitter, disdainful of her father, and her mother's disdain had become her own. She couldn't quell that relentless, churning anger, couldn't stop herself from lashing out before she could be wounded. Oh, Nesta. Nesta. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for Nesta. She was, like, sharpened as a child to be this serpent.
Yeah.
A blade.
Yeah.
To cut people. She was meant as a weapon, not anything else, and that's become her personality and identity.
It's sad.
It is.
Poor Nessie.
Poor Nessie. But then...
Yeah, they get to the freaking lake.
Yeah.
They get to the lake that Cassian... Okay, so We kind of skimmed over that. I don't think we talked about it at all, actually. Cassian thinks that there's, like... Or maybe not thinks. Maybe there is history of something. I don't know. There's, like, healing energy at this lake, apparently.
Yeah.
But, like...
People have taken this journey and, like, felt renewed at the end of it.
Yeah. So they get to this friggin' lake.
That's beautiful.
And Nesta just immediately breaks the fuck down.
Starts sobbing.
She's sobbing.
And she's talking through everything that's made her feel this way. And it essentially says that everything's her fault.
I have a quote.
Okay. I have one too, but it's real long.
Cassian's trying to, like, comfort her. And he goes over to try to give her a hug. And she's like, please don't touch me. Don't be kind to me. And he asks her why. And she tells him.
I'm like, I have his response.
This is on page 503.
Yeah.
She says, I let him die. He came to save me and fought for me, and I let him die with hate in my heart. Hate for him. He died because I didn't stop it. And I was so horrid to him until the very end. I was so, oh my god. I was so horrid to him all my life, and still he somehow loved me. I didn't deserve it, but he did, and I let him die. I can't undo it. I can't fix it. I can't fix that he's dead. I can't fix what I said to Feyre. I can't fix any of the horrible things I've done. I can't fix me. I can't bear it. And I'll let you read what Cassian said, I guess.
Yeah, if you want it. It's a long boy. I could maybe parse it out, but he has a lot to say in response to this.
Yeah.
And she says more things. He goes on to be like, I could tell you all the bad things I've done, all the things I'm going through, but I'm not going to say that.
Yeah.
Even though he says it, which I think is funny.
Yeah.
He's like, I could tell you, and lists like 50
But
things.
I'm not going to do that. This is what I did.
Yeah. But the real advice he gives her is, this is on page 505 into 506. I was going to tell you that you will get through it, that you will face all of this and you will get through it, that those tears are good, Nesta. Those tears mean you care. I'm telling you that it is not too late, not for any of it, and I can't tell you when or how, but it will get better. When you feel this guilt and pain and self-loathing, you will get through it. But only if you are willing to fight, only if you're willing to face it and embrace it. And walk through it to emerge on the other side of it. And maybe you will still feel that tinge of pain, but there is another side, a better side.
I don't know how to get there. I don't think I'm capable of it.
I was not expecting that, but I really enjoyed it. He says, you are. I've seen it. I've seen what you can do when you're willing to fight for the people you love. Why not apply that same bravery and loyalty to yourself? Don't say you don't deserve it. Everyone deserves happiness. The road there isn't easy. It is long and hard and often traveled utterly blind, but you keep going because you know the destination will be worthwhile. Cass. Also, I feel like that's what every therapist ever says. Give yourself love. Like, you know, she's capable of loving everyone else, but when you're, you know, neglecting your own damn self, of course you're going to get lost in it.
Yeah, and he goes on about, she's like, all the things I've done, and he says, leave them in the past, apologize to who you feel you need to, but leave those things behind. She says, forgiveness is not that easy. And he basically goes on to say, like, you have to forgive yourself before anyone else can forgive you.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, preach, though.
Yeah.
Her problems are much bigger than mine, but, like, same goes, you know?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. It's very sweet. He's very kind.
Yeah. I
love
him.
At one point, he says, like, you know, I expected a lot of things at this mountain, but that was not it. Like, I expected her to rage. I expected her to freaking tear these mountains down. But what she needed was just a movement of energy. And after he gives this long speech, he, like, grabs her and holds her, and they just stay that way for a long time.
And then they bang.
Obviously. A whole bunch. And
for days.
Well, she whips out the sword, too.
Oh, yeah.
And is, like, doing the combinations that he taught her. Yeah. And he's, like, in awe by her in the way that she handles the sword.
Yeah, because this is the first time she's ever used an actual sword.
I know. It's very beautiful.
Yeah,
it's such a good moment.
Yeah. I freaking love Cassian.
I do too. I
both.
do too. So after this, like, grand revelation moment for Cass and Nesta, they get back to the House of Wind.
Yep.
And it's training time again. Yeah. And Emery and Gwen are immediately on top of Nesta, like, what happened?
Did you bang?
Did you do a lot of banging? And she's like, yeah, maybe. She, like, lets it slip that they certainly did. They did it a bunch. In the water, on rocks.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Every surface.
I know. And she can't tell them actually what happened. She won't say all that.
Yeah, no.
About her weird explosion.
No. Of course not, because she's strong, independent.
Yeah.
She can't have weaknesses.
She can't be breaking down and crying a bunch. Come on. But they also, in this training room, like, while they were gone, Gwen had set up a whole freaking new training thing. Like, put a log or something fastened to the wall. I don't know. It was a whole thing. Where they tie the ribbons.
Yeah.
But it was like a Valkyrie rite of passage.
Yeah.
Like, once you finish
cut the
your...
ribbon.
Yeah, you gotta slice it. It's just a ribbon hanging.
Slice it. Exactly in half.
Yeah. Which sounds easier than it probably is. Actually, it sounds very difficult. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because the ribbon just like... You know what I mean?
True.
Flaps around.
Yeah.
It's not weighted.
Yeah, I was picturing it like... taut, and I'm like, how are they how are they not cutting it?
You know, it's flapping in the breeze.
Flapping makes more sense for sure.
And so Cass is like, you know, who's gonna do it?
Yeah,
who's gonna give it a shot first?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, if we cut it, does that mean we're done with our training? And he's like, no, well, we're gonna keep training, but like, it means you're probably ready to face enemies. So Emery gives it a shot because she's the oldest.
Yeah.
That's what Cassian says, and obviously does not do it.
Yeah, she like hits it but doesn't cut it.
Well, it flaps in the breeze.
Yeah.
But then Cass is like, ha! Does it in one try. He slices that shit. I don't think any of them get it. I think they all try, but Cass does it in one foul swoop.
Yep.
Because he's a boss ass
bitch.
I was gonna say that, but he's not. He's a bad boy.
He's a boss ass bat boy.
The quadruple B. Nope, there's only 3. The A really threw me for a loop.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, you had to double check.
Boss
Verify my
bat
boss
boy.
bass boy. Anyway, my god. We just could not be reined in today. But then, of course, after training, Cassie and Nesta have to bang it out.
Of course.
Must.
They have to. They cannot keep their hands off
they
of
can't.
each other.
They can't get enough of each other. No. And they keep, again, describing it as this, like, weird,
There's
primal
like a pull,
draw to one another. Obviously.
But we all know what that means.
Yeah, come on. And if you don't yet, what the heck are you doing? Come on. Anyway. Nesta in this time now is just like, you know, focusing on her training. She keeps practicing the stairs. But she can't make it down, like,
she
past
can't get
halfway.
Back down. Yeah.
It's like her rage that fueled her to get to Amryn. And she still hasn't seen Feyre to apologize. She's, like, afraid of that confrontation.
I don't blame her.
No, that's a bad move.
I feel really bad.
For Nesta or Feyre?
I would feel really bad if I was Nesta.
Put yourself in Nest's shoes.
Yep.
And of course, nobody's cut it, the ribbon. I put that down again because apparently it was necessary.
Okay.
But then...
I really want to drive that point home.
Yeah, nobody's cutting that damn ribbon. It's just continually flapping.
Poor ribbon.
No, it's probably good. It doesn't want to be chopped in half. Come on. Would you?
Maybe.
God. Anyway. At one point, Nesta asks Gwen about the, like, priestess's services that they put on. And Gwen's like,
to go.
Yeah. She asked her about it, and Gwen's like, yeah, it's a lot of music, and some of it is, like, you know, most of it, all of it is religiously based.
Yeah.
Because they're priestesses. But it's beautiful music.
Yeah.
And they happen every evening. And you should come. We'd love to have you. She, in this, like, interaction, Nesta does tell Gwen a little bit about why she's here.
Yeah.
Like, the House of Wind. She's like, I was kind of a piece of shit. And taking men to bed and drinking and just kind of numbing myself. And she doesn't miss any of that except for the music from the taverns. And she, like, cuts herself off saying, like, it's not worth it to tell you. And there's a quote that I have. It's on page 521.
Okay.
Gwen's eyes shone like the sunlight on a warm sea. Nesta's heart thundered, waiting for her reply. But Gwen said, your story is worth telling, you know. Nesta began to object, but Gwen insisted. It is. But yes, if you want music, then come to the services. We will be glad to have you. I will be glad to have you. And then Gwen says, I understand you. I understand what it is to fail the people who mean the most, to live in fear of people finding out. I dread you and Emery learning my history. I know that once you do, you'll never look at me the same again. And she says, come to the service this evening. You'll always be welcome to join me, Nesta. And Nesta hadn't realized how badly she needed to hear it. She squeezed Gwen's hand. They're women out here empowering women.
No, so
but also,
sweet.
I'm like, Gwen, I don't think they're going to shit on you for whatever happened.
I know,
in
and
the
I'm
past.
really curious about her past.
I know.
And I feel like we're going to have to learn about it eventually.
I kind of remember maybe in the first read that it might come up again.
Oh, okay.
But that's a lot of maybes, so
Yeah,
it probably
that's
didn't.
fair.
Who
Might
knows?
be making shit up.
Yeah. But then Nesta goes to service that night.
She does. And this is friggin' wild.
This is wild.
Absolutely
dude.
wild.
Dude.
I didn't remember this at all, and I was like, what?
I remembered as
Shook.
soon as she went to the service.
I
I was
didn't.
like, oh, yeah. But it's this whole processional. Like, Meryl and Clotho are up front.
Yeah.
They're, like,
And
guiding
Gwen's
it.
up there, too.
Yeah, not at first. But, like, the two ladies go up, and they're the ones, like, conducting this whole service. But then the choir comes out, and she's
and
like...
Gwen's in the choir.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, it's Gwenny. Gwenny.
My friend Gwen.
Gween.
Maybe that's how you actually say her name.
Gween?
Gween.
No, don't like it.
Come on.
No. But the music is, like, entrancing to
Yeah.
Nesta. And Gwen plays a big part in it. Like, her voice carries above everyone else's. She, like, you know, it's really beautiful.
Which brings me to that thing that I was thinking about last time, the light bringers. Light singers or whatever they're called.
Bringers. I think.
Bringers, and how they're described as these, like... They've got voices that, like, draw you in, and kind of like a siren. And it makes me question that about her.
About Gwen?
Yeah.
She's a lot of things, though.
She is, yeah.
She was, like, half, quarter, not Wraith, something else. Was it Wraith?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure?
No.
That feels wrong. She's got a lot of things going on. River.
Wraith. Yeah.
No, it's not a Wraith.
River.
I don't know how much it matters. River. What the hell is it? Not Wraith. It's something else. We really don't need to know.
I must.
River. It's not a Wraith. Because I said Wraith last episode, and then you read it, and it was not Wraith. A Wraith.
I don't know. I guess it's not important.
I don't know, dude.
Nymph!
Nymph! There it
I
is.
found it.
She's River Nymph.
She's a half nymph, or quarter, I guess. Quarter fae.
Mm-hmm. I guess there might be more. Anyway, her voice is fantastic.
Wait, hang on.
She's probably like 3/4 fae, man. We're getting too deep into
We are.
this.
It doesn't matter.
It does not matter.
It was just a theory.
Okay. But her voice is crazy. And
Yep.
they get to a song where Gwen is like soloing for a large part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And Nesta shuts her eyes. And is really feeling it. Do you have a quote? Because I do
Ew.
too, but you could read yours. What page?
This is later.
Oh, snap. Nesta shuts her eyes. She's really letting go, feeling the music. Because it's just that beautiful.
Yeah.
And this is the quote about that. 5:25. The music took form behind Nesta's eyes as the priestesses sang lyrics in languages so old no one voiced them anymore. She saw what the song spoke of, mossy earth and golden sun and clear rivers and the deep shadows of an ancient forest. The harp strummed and mountains rolled ahead as if a veil had been cleared with the stroke of those strings and she was flying towards it. Toward a massive, mist-veiled mountain, the land barren save for moss and stones and a gray stormy sea around it. The mountains itself held 2 peaks at its very top, and the stones jutting from its sides were carved in strange, ancient symbols as old as the song itself. Nesta's body melted away, her bones and the stones of the cavern, a distant memory, as she flowed into the mountain, beheld towering carved gates, and passed through them into a darkness so complete it was primordial, darkness that was full of living things, terrible things.
We gotta talk about that later.
I know, I gave you the eyes.
Yep.
But she is scrying.
Yeah.
She unintentionally is scrying.
Yep.
And is being
Which
taken...
is wild to me.
Yeah, dude. And this, yeah.
That, like, the temple or whatever it is underground is working as the stones.
And her bones are the bones.
Yeah, what the heck?
I know. It's a trip that she can do that at all.
Yeah.
Like, why? And the music put her in a trance enough to do so. I don't know. It's
wild.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
But she's scrying, and what she's seeing is the prison.
It's a freaking prison.
And she's getting taken through, like, a passage that is in a wall between an arch and something else. Mm-hmm. And she sees the harp.
Freaking harp.
The freaking harp. And it, like, calls her to play it.
Yep.
It's like, play me, Nesta. We could have fun together.
Yep.
Says
it tells her, play me, let me sing again, join your voice with mine.
Says that they'll open doors together and the music will free them of their earthly rules and borders. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And the fact that the harp's just like whispering sweet nothings. But she, like, snaps out of it.
Wild.
That is wild. And it seems to have, like, awoken the harp, this
Yeah.
whole experience.
Yeah.
But she snaps out of it and is like, what the dang heck? And Gwen gives her kind of a look because she made a ruckus. I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah, I feel like she did something.
When she comes to, she makes noise or something.
Yeah.
But then she What?
Her knees give out, and so she falls.
Knees give out.
And Gwen's like, you okay, girl?
You good? But she immediately tells Cass.
Yeah.
Which is probably good.
Yeah.
At least she's not holding that shit in.
Come on.
And he goes to Reason and is like, it's in the prison. And Reese is like, how sure? And she's like, well, she says she saw it.
It's freaking there, dude.
Yeah. And Reese says that, like, Helion had taught him how to put really complicated wards over the prison because they were worried about Baron freeing prisoners.
Yeah.
To
use as their
participate.
allies for the freaking...
Yeah. Yeah. So,
wild.
Yeah. Reese has to, like, take a day to take all those down.
Yeah.
And he gives Cassian the freaking sword.
Yeah, he's like, I want to know what happens if Nesta uses this.
Uh-huh.
Let's hope she doesn't have to, but if she does, I want to know.
Yeah.
Good freaking thing they did, I'm just saying.
I know. Foreshadow. Yeah. He gives the sword. Cass is like, you sure about this?
Yeah.
You sure? Yeah.
Yep.
Sure.
He's positive.
But they go to the freaking prison.
They go to the freaking prison.
Dude.
And they travel. They travel
wild.
down. There's prisoners, like, knocking on doors and trying to get out.
Yeah.
They, like, sense Nesta's presence.
Yeah.
And Cassian's, because he's put most of them in there.
Uh-huh. On their way down to the depths. I almost said bellows.
The bellows.
I guess that works, too.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the vibes creeps.
It's real creepy.
Creep town.
I feel like creepier than the last time we were in the prison.
Like, Nesta is different.
Yeah.
The way that the prison reacts to her.
Yeah, the inmates didn't react so harshly to Feyre.
Yeah.
And Reese.
Yeah. They know Reese is reasoned well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and Nesta's surprised that Reason gave her the sword. She's like, what the heck? Okay, whatever. What the heck? And she wasn't able to, like, look him in the eye when he windowed them to the prison.
Yeah.
But yeah, they go through, and they always, like, lose time in the prison. Every time they go down there, they talk about how it could be days, months, millennia. I don't know.
Could be seconds or minutes or hours or years.
Yeah, milliseconds, perhaps.
Maybe.
Yeah, and they pass by the freaking blue Annis's cell.
Yep.
Cass, like, shows a scar.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, that's that one.
Yep.
He's just, like, showing off his prisoners. He's taking a tour of all the people he's put away.
Yep.
And then she stops because they find the arch that she saw during her scry. And what the
right
heck is it?
And it's right next to, or is it in? No, it's right next to
the arch.
Lanthus.
The arch is his cell, I'm pretty
okay.
sure. Because they, like, walk through a wall to get to the harp.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Lanthus.
Freaking Lanthus.
That's
the
another
misty guy.
Misty, spooky guy.
Who's true immortal, can never die.
Uh-huh. He's like
We'll
Amryn. We'll see about that. Yeah, but Lanthus is another one that Cass put away. Mm-hmm. And he's scared of him.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
No. But they go through the wall.
Yeah.
And go down a hall.
Mm-hmm.
And end up near this chamber that's, like, very clearly warded.
Yeah.
Heavily.
Yeah.
And the harp's dead center.
Yep.
And dude.
Just sitting there.
Yeah. And there's a whole bunch
creepy.
of markings on the floor surrounding the harp.
Interesting. I don't remember reading that.
Also, like, an 8-pointed star extended from the harp.
That, yeah.
Which made me think of the training with Cassian. Because they were talking about an 8-pointed star for sword training or something. And I'm like, what?
That's like
is that
the first
related?
move that he had her do at the lake. Show me the 8-poined star.
Why is the 8-pointed star coming up so often? But also all the markings on the ground with like,
come on.
And Nessa's like, listen, I'm gonna go through.
Yep.
I'm gonna do it. Like calls to like, it'll probably let me in.
It'll let me in.
And Cassian's like, I can't risk you.
Yeah.
I love you, Cassian. But she does it. She's like, it's okay. It's fine.
I got this, baby.
Yeah. She says something along the lines of, like, you're training me to be a warrior, but will keep me from danger. Is that not, like, keeping an animal caged?
Yeah.
And he's like, shoot, you right.
You go. Go through those words, girl.
I guess. And
So
she does. But it feels like wading through mud. Like, it's heavy. They're pulling on her.
Yeah.
And she freaking grabs the harp, dude.
She sure does.
What the heck happened, Sarah?
Well, she, like, sees a memory of the last time it was used. And I have a little quote I want to read.
Okay.
Maybe.
Also, the markings on the floor are constellations.
Oh, okay.
I wrote that down. I don't know if it matters. But
So
I think
it's
Cass...
not the kind of marks we were thinking.
Maybe. I think Cass says something like, well, it is the night court. Because of all the constellations.
Yeah. What the heck?
What the heck?
Okay. It's right here. Got it. So she grabs the freaking harp and has a memory of the last time it was used. This is on page 535.
Swell.
It's kind of long.
Okay.
I'm regretting.
You could read parts.
Faye screamed, pounding on stone that hadn't been there a moment before, pleading for their children's sakes, begging to be let out. It was a trap, and our people were too blind to see it. The Fae clawed at stone, tearing their nails on rock where there had once been a door, but the way back now was forever sealed, and they begged, as they tried to pass their children through the solid wall, if only their children could be spared. A great hall where 5 thrones graced a dais. The 6th throne in the center was occupied by a pointy-eared crone. A golden... Oh.
Yeah, I'm like, you're
I'm
moving
remembering.
on.
Never mind, I'm not going to read that.
On. Yeah, so she has this weird memory of people being trapped in the walls.
Yeah. With children.
Who last used this harp?
I know.
Is
I'm
my
really
question.
Curious.
And why did they trap them in the prison walls?
I don't know.
I
really want to know.
I know. It comes up later, too, that they think the prison was, like, built around the harp. And the prisoners are, like, hiding its magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild.
Interesting. But then the next part you're about to read.
Yeah.
Nesta sees Breelyn.
Yeah, she, like...
She has her crown. She's sitting on a throne.
Yep.
And because she has the crown, they, like, are connected. The harp and the crown.
Yeah.
And it allows Breelyn to see her. Like, not just talk, but, like, she knows where she is now.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
That's bad news.
Bad news. Bad news.
Bears.
And she mentions Gwen and Emery, too. Which is,
her
like...
friends.
Yeah. That's scary.
I want to know how she knows about them.
Her spies. She says, like, right. My spies mentioned you got some little friends. Yeah. And she's like, don't you touch them. Or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she knows where she is now. And Nesta, like, pulls out of this memory. Or this experience. It's not even a memory. It's active current day.
Yeah.
And she is pulled out by, like, Cassian screaming her name. He's like, Nesta! And she has fallen. And the harp is, like, pushing her down into the stone. As if it's going to make her a part of the prison walls.
Yeah.
Why? Why, Sarah?
I don't know why.
But then it's...
Shouldn't it like her?
Come on.
Like calls to like.
And the mask was more than happy to oblige.
It was.
But she's like, let go of me, or like drop these wards, essentially. And she's talking about the ones holding her down.
Yeah.
And like plucks the first string, and it does so. So she's able to get up. And make her way out of the wards. And makes it back to Cass.
She does. And they start leaving.
Yeah, but they share like really intimate moment.
Do they?
Like he was real worried about her.
Oh, yeah.
And as they start leaving, she's like, I decided to name my sword Ataraxia. That's right, yeah. And
That's how you say it?
What did you say?
Atraxia?
is the R before the A? Mm-hmm. Dude, I'm dyslexic, apparently.
Let me just...
I thought it was ataraxia.
I have to find it. Hold, please.
Okay.
Oh, there is another A in there. Okay.
So I was right. Yay.
For once.
It's not a freaking Basgiath situation. Ataraxia. Anyway, he loves the name.
Yeah.
He kisses her about it.
Mm-hmm.
And Nesta says, like, you know, Gwen and Emery are my friends, but I think you might be too. And he was like, well, yeah, I've always been your friend, Ness.
Yeah.
And she's about to say more. Like, she starts saying, and I've always, but is cut off.
By Cassian yelling at her to run.
Yeah! Because why?
He notices that friggin' Lanthus's cell door is open.
Yeah, dude. Why is his cell door ward attached to whatever she did with the harp is my question, too. Like, is he attached to the harp?
No, I think that when she plucked the string, she just said, like, release these wards. She didn't specify.
Yeah, I guess they also go through...
And his is the only one that's, like, close enough to feel the effects. Because
by the
it's
single string. Alright, you're right. Because they do have a mild worry, like, what if we unlocked all the prisoners?
Yeah.
But it's just him.
It's just him.
But Lanthus's cell is open, and that's real not good.
It's really bad.
Real not
bad.
good.
He really doesn't like Cassian.
He's really bad.
He's really immortal.
And he's mad.
And he's just a mist.
And he's a mist, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, and he's, like, creepy as hell talking to him. He's, like, circling them with Cassian has Nesta behind him. Mm-hmm. And he plans to, like, attack and have Nesta run, but he can't see him or get, like, a good enough view to smack him.
Well, and he can't, like, stop him if he tries to move somewhere because he's just mist.
He's just a mist.
Come on.
Yeah, and when he had trapped him before, he was in some sort of fae form. He trapped him with a mirror?
Yeah, he trapped him with a mirror. I don't
exactly remember that story. But nonetheless, Lanthus sees Nesta and asks her what she is.
Yeah.
And her response is very Nesta. She says, a witch from Urid's dark heart. Uh-huh. And he's like, no, that's not
He's like, you don't smell like a witch. You don't smell like Urid.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And Cassian's like, it's a damn good thing she probably smells a lot like me because he can't actually smell like her true scent.
Yeah.
Which is very much Cauldron. Mm-hmm. She's dark and spoopy. Has
Spoopy.
Cauldron. She is Cauldron. And he's like, I wondered who would come claim the harp. And is real creepy. Says that even death would bow to its last string.
What is the last string?
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude. But he starts saying, also, guys, talking about freaking guys, everyone here.
All of you people.
They, talking about Nesta and Cassian and their crazy weird bond, he starts to say, based on pawn scent alone, I would say that you are...
Oh, yeah.
And is cut off because Cass strikes him.
Yep.
But I'm like, he's obviously going to tell him what they actually are.
Yeah.
It's very much like a
giving me cereal vibes.
Cereal and Feyre situation. He's definitely going to tell him.
Yeah.
But he gets cut off by Cass's sword. And Cassian's like, Nesta, run!
Yeah.
And so she does.
She does. And she almost immediately is like, oh man, I just friggin' left him there.
Yeah. Well, she starts thinking. She's like, I'm going to have to make it all the way out of the prison, then call Rhys, hope that he can hear me from the prison, as if that's possible. Yeah. Well, it might be. Who knows? Rhys is wild. But like, and then he's going to fly back. It's too late. He'll be dead. Yep. And so she's like, well, I can't do that.
Yeah.
And thinks about the harp, because the harp had said it has the ability to open doors. Yeah. And, like, leap. Like, there was a whole speech the harp gave about, like, we could leap and whatever. And she starts thinking about that. And there's a quote. Page 544.
Okay.
Real quick. Nesta counted the strings, 26. She touched the first, the smallest, to free herself from the harp's power, but what did the others do? 26, 26, 26. Gwen's voice floated from far away, recounting Meryl's earlier research on dimensions, the possibility of 26 dimensions. We shall move through space and eons together. The small strings are for games, light movement and leaping. Could the harp... Nesta's breath caught in her throat. Could the harp transplant her from one place to another? Not only a door, but create one she might walk through. Not only open a door, excuse me. Free us of earthly rules and borders. She had to try it for Cassian. And, y'all, what the dang heck? I have a note here. I'm not going to say it here because, well, rude. It's basically about what we talked about during our break. But yeah, before she uses it.
Yeah. There's some freaking tiny army of Autumn Court soldiers coming after her.
Yeah. Well, I think it's mentioned that Eris had said there were more than 12 missing. Yeah. And only 12 had attacked in the bog.
Yeah.
But they're coming down.
They're coming.
They're here.
They were freaking sent by Breland.
Yeah.
She freaking knew, dude.
But she flicks the harp, flicks it. She plays the little string.
Yep.
Or 2 of them.
I think she, 2 or 3.
I think she picks 2 for this jump and 3 later.
Okay.
Perhaps.
You might be right. You might be right.
Might be right. But she makes it back to Cass with her harp traveling.
She sure does.
And he's injured.
Yep.
He's not doing so great.
Yeah, him and Lanthus are still fighting.
Yeah. And he's bleeding.
Yeah.
It's not good. He's not winning this fight.
No.
And when Nesta emerges, Lanthus, grabs him by the throat and hurls him against the wall.
Yeah.
So, of course, Nesta runs right over to him.
Mm-hmm.
And she's kneeling over him.
She is.
And it's very, very reminiscent of the King of Hybern situation.
Yeah.
Which is a problem.
Yeah.
Do you have a quote?
I do. But it might be in a little bit.
What page is it?
547.
That's my next quote. So, yeah, I'll lead you up to that.
Okay.
So she turns.
Yeah.
She waits. She hears Lanthus approaching.
Mm-hmm.
And she turns just in time using the freaking fancy blade combinations that she was taught.
Yeah.
And from the slice of her sword, the one slice, it makes Lanthus take his Fae form.
Yeah.
And he's like, what death god are you? Mm-hmm. That's not Narbin.
That's not my buddy Narbin.
Where's Narbs? Because that's not him. And with the sword, which he's very afraid of because it's the freaking made death sword.
Yeah.
He starts backing in towards his cell. She starts pushing him back towards his cell.
Mm-hmm.
And Lanthus then figures out who Nesta is.
Yeah.
Is this leading you to your quote?
No, I think you passed it, friend.
Oh, well, my quote is right after I said that.
Okay.
But you read yours.
Well, I guess it's maybe, I don't know. I have many tabs on this page, so I'm a little confused.
It's a wild page.
Yeah, he asks her which death god she is. She says she's nobody. He asks her, whose fire burns silver in your gaze? And she says, you know whose fire.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Uh-huh. Well, yeah.
And then it says, but it struck true somehow. She's just trying to stall.
But I'm also, it's from the cauldron, I think is what she's implying.
Maybe. I don't know.
Or maybe I'm wrong. That's what I picked up from it.
I don't know. Lanthus' skin drained of color. It's not possible. We heard... Oh, I guess... Never mind. He looked at the harp beside a stirring Cassian, and his eyes widened again. We heard about you down here. You were the one the sea and the wind and the earth whispered of. Nesta. You took from the cauldron itself. Lanthus halted his retreat and extended a broad, graceful hand. You don't... Oh my god. You do not even know what you could do. Come, I shall show you. He smiled again with those 2 long teeth, turning his face from beauty to horror with a quirk of his lips. Come with me, Queen of Queens.
Yeah.
And
he calls her Queen of Queens. I don't know why. Okay, keep going.
And we shall return what was once lost. We shall rebuild to what we were before the golden legions of the Fae cast off their chains and overthrew us. We shall resurrect the wild hunt and ride rampant through the night. We shall build palaces.
Palaces.
We shall build palaces of ice and flame, palaces of darkness and starlight. Magic shall flow untethered again.
Yeah, and he goes on to show her this wild-ass illusion.
He does.
And this is crazy. He shows her essentially what would become of them if she partnered with him, became his queen.
Yeah.
And it, is images of them seated on thrones together. He's wearing the crown.
Yeah.
And that, peace makes Nesta take out of the illusion, or like come out of it a little bit, because she's like, he's literally just wants to rule with coercion because of the crown, and that's gross.
Yeah.
She sees like these beasts that are at their feet on the days, and 4 dead trove objects behind them.
Yeah.
And we don't know what the 4th one is.
And she can't really see what it is
No.
either. It's like in mist.
It's clouded. She says she seems like white bone or something, but other than that, she has no idea what's going on there.
Yeah.
And then he goes on to show her like them banging it out, and he's like, this is the most pleasure you'll ever know. And that also takes her from the illusion, because she's like,
actually, Cassian's better than this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she snaps out of it because of those like small moments. I feel like it's enough to almost convince her, if it weren't for the coercion with the crown and Cassian.
Yeah. I know.
Stop. So she proceeds to back him into his cell and has him, like, you know, at blade point, and Cass takes the opportunity to chuck a dagger at him. And then, fucking dude, Nesta murders the crap out of Lanthus.
She sure does.
She slices him, and his head and torso fall in different directions.
Yep.
She also decapitated him.
Yeah.
Decapitated. Dude.
Does she hold his head up like she does with the King Hybrid?
No, she didn't this time. But she killed what could not be killed.
Yeah.
With her crazy ass blade.
Excuse me?
Nesta.
Come on.
Dude, Nesta's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's not the last time that she's referred to as like a queen, like a queenly nature. It's a trip, you know? And I'm torn up by Nesta. She's too powerful. What's gonna happen with her next?
Yeah.
Now I'm all messed up from our friggin' break.
Wild.
I'm all messed up. All messed
sorts
up.
of meshed up.
But then they start hearing all these noises.
Yeah.
Beginning in the prison. This is on page 550. Screaming began throughout the mountain. Petrified, pleading, screaming, fists pounding. Not on the rock or the doors that held them, but on the opposite walls of their cells, as if they were begging the prison to spare them from her and that sword. Lanthus had fallen, and the occupants of the prison had felt it. Dude.
Yeah, to have all these, like, big, powerful, creepy guys.
Yeah.
Terrified of her.
Yeah.
So terrified that they're, like,
asking to be let
please
go.
Spare me.
Yeah. She just shook the prison to its core.
Wild.
That's trip.
I love Nesta.
Me too. I feel like, I love Nesta.
Nesta might be my new favorite character.
She's a badass. But what?
Nothing. I was going to say, hot take, is Nesta better than Aelin?
Oh, no. Well, no. I want to know what happens next with Nesta.
Yeah, me too.
Anywho, she, knowing that the Autumn soldiers are on their way, Nesta uses the harp to winnow them back to Velaris. And I think this is when she uses 3 strings or whatever. Because she's like, 1 got me out of a room, 2 got me down back here, so 3 must get me further.
Sure.
She has a whole logic.
Yeah.
But they make it to the river house.
They do.
And Cassian immediately collapses.
Yeah, he's fucking hurt.
He's not good.
He's in a bad
way. And Reeson comes barreling out.
Yeah.
He's all sorts of worried.
Yeah.
And they make it back in the house, and Cassian is being healed. Why
were you so weird just then? Cass.
I called him Kaz, which I often do because I just makes Kaz real. Okay. See, exactly. I'm making my point. But anyway.
Are you?
I think someone's following, probably. But anyway, Sarah.
Yeah.
He's getting healed. And Nesta and Feyre exchange some mind speaking.
They do.
Nesta apologizes.
Yeah, she's like looking at Feyre and she's like, man, I'm really sorry. And Feyre's like, it's okay. And Nesta's like, oh shit, I forgot you can do that.
God, that would be like startling.
Yeah.
If all of a sudden you were talking into my brain, I'd be kind of upset. Maybe not. That'd be kind of cool.
It'd be kind of cool.
But yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah. I don't know if I want you in my head all the time. It's a weird place. But
same.
It's probably the same, though, let's be real.
Fair. Yeah.
But yeah, they have a sweet moment where Nesta apologizes and Feyre's like, all is forgiven. It's okay.
Yeah.
Feyre then goes on to be like, we need to ward the harp. And we need to do it separately from the mask, because we don't know what they'll do.
You know what happened when you brought the books together.
Yes, bad ideas, dudes.
Yeah.
And it can't go back to the prison.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Breland knows where to find it if they do that.
Yeah.
I wrote, Breland will defo try to take it. Especially because it allows winnowing through wards. Yeah. Like, they were able to winnow to the river house. They were able to winnow past wards.
Yeah.
Because the prison is warded.
Yeah.
There's a lot of wards they went through.
Yeah.
With that freaking harp. It's too much power.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah.
What?
I was going to say Reese took down all the wards, but he probably didn't take all of them
No, just his fancy one.
Just the fancy one.
Just the new fancy guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they need to figure out where to put it.
Yeah.
And
did they decide in this section?
No, maybe not. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But they just
what are they
decide
just doing with it in the
separate
meantime?
them. I don't know.
Because I feel like we go through like months.
Yeah,
we do.
I mean, they must just put it in another room with the same sort of words, probably. If I had to guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nesta brings up the wild ass memory she was shown.
Yeah.
And she asks Reese about the wild hunt. Mm-hmm. And he goes on an entirely different tangent for a second. But he's like, okay, from that memory alone, like, Lanthus must be more than 15,000 years old. Mm-hmm. Okay, so is the memory attached to Lanthus, or am I saying that wrong?
I don't know. No.
What makes him say that Lanthus is 15,000 years old?
I don't know.
Was it like a language?
Let me see.
Used?
Maybe.
Or something?
Maybe.
No. Now I remember maybe.
Okay. Maybe not.
Well, there was talk about... Why does he say that? Because I know he goes on to talk about, like, Lanthus's species or whatever.
Yeah.
The Daglin, which is very much like Dagdan from...
Dagdan.
From friggin'...
You mean Hirschmurder?
From friggin' Agor, Dagdan's back.
Dagdan.
He gathers that Lanthus must be 15,000 years old. Or thereabouts. Or more than.
Oh, it's because... What is the wild hunt? Because Lanthus remembers the wild hunt.
Did he, like, show it to her? Wild hunt is.
I'm just going to read you this little section.
I'm more talking about Lanthus than Reese, but...
Did he show Nesta the wild hunt?
Or bring it up?
He brought it up, because he said... Hang on. I just read a quote about it, Danielle. Jeez. Hang on a second. I can find it again. We shall rebuild to what we were before the golden legions of the Fae cast off their chains and overthrew us. We shall resurrect the wild hunt and ride rampant through the night.
All right, sorry. So he did bring it up.
Yeah.
So that's what prompts Reese to be like, he's real old.
She asks Reese what the wild hunt is.
Yeah.
And Reese is like, oh, well, if he knew that, he's old as hell.
He's 15,000 years old at least. But Reese goes on to explain, he pulls out like a book of fables or something.
Uh-huh.
And he says that Lanthus must have been a part of the near-god monsters called the Daglin, who were like the first masters of the world. They ruled before High came to be. Mm-hmm. And they were taken down by Fae war heroes Fionn and Gwydion.
Weird.
Yeah.
Do you have a page number?
No. But go back to the 15,000 years part.
15,000 years old.
It goes on to say the Fae war heroes Fionn and Gwydion. Unless it's saying like Fionn and his sword Gwydion, but I don't think so. Like, is Gwydion also a person?
Who was given the great sword of Gwydion. Fionn, who was given the great sword Gideon by the high priestess, blah, 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 blah. A millennium of peace followed in the lands... Wait, no, I skipped a line.
I mean, if he was giving the great sword, then I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who was given the great sword Gwydion, blah, 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 blah. Fionn and Gwydion overthrew the Daglin.
Okay.
So he overthrew them using Gwydion.
Okay. Apparently my brain decided to get that out of there.
I didn't made a whole new person.
I guess. Gwydion is alive and well.
Yeah.
But Fionn...
Yeah.
Overthrew the Daglin with Gwydion then. Mm-hmm. And Narden was involved in some capacity.
Narbin?
Not Narden. I wrote Narden. My autocorrect. But Fionn, with this power, became High King.
Yeah.
He was the first High King.
The first and only.
Yeah. And he was betrayed by his queen and general of his armies and murdered. And that's when the 7 courts came to be. So Reese is like giving her this crazy backstory. And he says that Amarin remembers the time like right before Fionn came to power.
Yeah.
And they feared her, thinking that she was like the Daglin, and put her in the prison. So Amarin's old as shit too.
Yeah,
She's
which we
dusty.
knew.
I know, but 15,000.
She's dusty.
15,000 years of dust. She also was a cloud, so I'm not completely wrong.
That makes me wonder if her and Lanthus were the same kind of cloud.
Yeah, are they the same clouds? Like, if she were struck in cloud form, would she take a high fae form?
Did he also come from her dimension?
Maybe. Which we also theorized was, yeah. There's too many connections.
Wild.
Freaking SJM is a genius.
Yeah.
But who's it what? It. Okay? Narvin. They say that Narvin was potentially destroyed.
Yeah.
Possibly. They actually don't know for sure.
They don't know.
But it could kill monsters like Lanthus, and obviously so can Ataraxia.
Uh-huh.
So they're kind of one and the same.
Yep.
And the Wild Hunt.
Reese calls it a death sword.
Yeah. So she's got a death sword.
Death sword.
But then Cassian's like, dude, we were talking about the Wild Hunt. Jesus.
He's like, you still haven't explained the Wild Hunt.
Come on.
Get it together.
Get back on track. And apparently this was just when the Daglin allowed, like, their fiercest warriors to go on a killing spree. It was the Purge, man. Mm-hmm. It was the Fae Purge.
Yeah.
Rude. But they used monster hounds to catch their prey first, and then they would destroy them. And Nesta says that she saw beasts like that in the illusion that Lanthus made.
Must have been a shame.
This is a lot.
She also says that the hounds looked like the beasts in the Hewn City that are under the torture chamber.
And also carved into stuff.
Yeah.
Like, they're carved into pillars and things.
Oh, maybe, I don't know. I'm like, has she seen the ones in the torture chamber?
Probably not.
But are they the same? I wonder.
Maybe.
Do they still... Oh my god.
Do they still have Daglin beasts?
This is why I love talking about these books.
I know.
Because I'm like, think of things as we talk about them that I don't think about while I'm reading.
Yeah, I wonder if the torture beasts are the same. God damn it. Everything is chaos tonight. Sarah just plummeted.
I'm back.
We're back.
Now
but
I'm a
then
little too tall.
You're fine. You do you. Great. But Nesta immediately is like, I need to go after the crown.
Yeah.
And Farrah's like, absolutely not. We're not doing that. That's a bad idea. She'll not allow anyone to go after Breland and the crown. And Reese goes on to say, like, alliances need to be strengthened again. Mm-hmm. And asks Nesta if she'll dance with Eris at the upcoming winter solstice ball.
Yeah. And Cassian's like, no.
Absolutely not. No.
That's ball.
Don't touch her. Why are they always so derpy as fuck? I don't know. They turned from frat boys to my dog names. Yeah. If you don't make voices for your dogs, what are you doing?
Who are you? Get out of here.
Yeah.
We don't like you.
But Nesta's like, no, I'll do it.
Yeah.
She agrees.
She does.
And she takes like a break in between this and the next part and centers with mind stilling. She's still doing that. That seems to be a good coping mechanism for her whenever she's feeling overwhelmed. And she's, I think, nervous and scared about the Eris situation. Mm-hmm. But then Nesta takes Cassian to their little hovel.
To the
cottage. Yeah. The one where Tam Tam came and took favor from.
Yeah. And the door's still all friggin' busted.
Oh, it's all busted. She remembers her and Elaine having put it back up because the pops couldn't.
Yeah.
And
she's like embarrassed to have Cassian there. She's like, yeah, that's the bed we slept in. Sorry, it stinks.
She's embarrassed, and he says, man, I've lived in worse. Yeah. Like, before she gives him the grand tour. Mm-hmm. But she's obviously still grieving. Yeah. And, like, this is part of her processing.
Yeah, I feel like this is probably really, like, healing for her.
Yeah. And the whole time, instead of, like, leaning into those emotions, she's using mind stealing to, like, stilling to get through it.
Yeah.
She's super glad Cass is there. Like, she wanted him to be there.
Because she loves him.
I know, obviously. But they start looking around, and she shows him like the table they ate at, and she remembers all the times that they ate there.
Mm-hmm.
He sees Feyre's painting on the wall and the table and stuff, and he's like, have you seen what she did to the vacation home that they have?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
He asks her about the dresser, too.
Yeah, they go see it.
Yeah.
And he's like, wow, she actually did paint frickin' stars and stuff on her drawer before she ever even knew Reese existed.
That's so cute.
I know. It's too much. It's too much.
Can't handle it.
Even though Reese is being a poo head in this book.
I still love him.
I know. I still would absolutely.
Yep. Devour.
Obviously. But then she sees little wooden figurines that her dad used to carve on the mantle. Yeah, and she takes a rose.
She takes them.
Just a rose. But she in this she talks a little bit about her dad. And how she always kept him at a distance.
Yeah.
And she thought that he was weak and wished he would be more for them.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I don't get why he sailed into battle for us when I was so awful to him.
Yeah.
And she talks a little bit about how they lost their wealth, how Feyre was the only one who would stand up. And she's like, that's another time I failed Feyre. Like, I do it all the time. And doesn't know how to talk to Feyre about any of that.
Yeah.
But when Nesta's ready to go, because Az, I think, windowed them there. Mm-hmm. And he's like, Az won't be back for a while. Let's go flying.
Yeah. She's like, we'll scare the people.
Yeah, and he's like,
it'll be the highlight of their day.
Yeah. Also, are there people there?
In the village?
Yeah. I feel like when they arrived, she talked about it being deserted. One, because Hybern came through and freaking took all the people out.
Well, I think they're, back and rebuilding.
I guess.
And I think she was talking about the cottage being deserted.
Yeah.
Not the whole village.
Okay, whatever, Sarah. Whatever. You're probably right. But then it's a month later.
Yeah.
And Nesta is starting to feel her fighting leathers more. Her body is recovering from being malnourished and messed up. She's banging Cassian all the time, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
And she's been taking dance lessons with Moore.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she loves them. The dance lessons.
Yeah.
They're kind of tense because they don't talk.
Yeah.
Moore
That's
still
gotta
hates
be really
Nesta.
awkward.
I know. Like, how are you going to teach someone to dance if you don't want to talk to them?
Well, she says, all they talk about is dancing. They don't have any conversation outside of that.
Moore still's not a fan. I know. But she's prepping for her ball experience.
Yeah.
And Moore asks what she's wearing to the solstice, which is 3 days away.
Yeah. She's like, I'm just going to find something.
Yeah, and Moore's like, absolutely
no.
no. I'll take care of it.
Eris won't stand for that.
Yeah, she offers. I know. Eris is nasty.
Yeah.
But Moore's like, oh, I'll find you something. And Nesta says, thank you. And Nesta's like, wow, that's the real, first real conversation we've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
But then both of them go down to the library because Moore needs to get something from Clotho about Valahan because she's still working with them.
Yeah.
Moore's been gone for most of this book.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of her.
I know. After we learned she had a secret estate.
I know. I wonder if she's part of her is hiding there. Part of her? I wonder
what
if
her leg is
when
there.
She's not in Valahan, she's hiding in the friggin' manor.
Maybe. Because I still want to know more there. We need a more book.
We do.
But when they get down there, Emery's in the library.
Yeah.
She stayed after training to see where they worked.
Mm-hmm.
And she's admiring Moore. She's like, damn, that girl's hot, though.
Look at her. My God. That ass, though.
Won't quit. No, that's Nesta. Come on.
Right.
But then Nesta takes Emery because Gwen got stuff to do for Meryl.
Yeah.
And they go down to her cart, which is some levels away.
Mm-hmm.
And Emery gets spooked by the darkness.
She does.
She starts, hearing her father screaming at her.
Yeah.
Which her father's dead. And so that's definitely unnerving. She hears, furniture breaking and stuff.
That's really sad.
I know. And Nessa's like, well, let's get the heck out of here.
Let's go. We don't have to come this far down again.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Goes up some levels. She doesn't really say much about it to Emery, but she just takes her up.
Mm-hmm.
And then, this is so cute. Gwen?
Yeah, with the freaking book. Yeah, I know.
She has written a chapter for Meryl's study about the Valkyrie.
Yeah.
And it's about them.
It is.
It's the revival of the Valkyrie.
Yeah, and Gwen gives it to each of them as a present for the solstice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she says, our story's worth telling.
Yeah.
It's so sweet.
Stop it.
Yeah. But when she gets back to her room, Cassian has left a note for her. He's gone. The blood right's coming soon, and so there's squabbles.
Yeah.
Squabbles within the Lyrians. And he's got to deal with it. And I have a quote. You might be going to the same one.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Sure.
It's on page 575.
Okay.
Nessa's alone in her room. She decides to master her fear of the fire.
Yeah.
And so 575. She didn't know why she found herself on the verge of tears as the cinders smoldered. So she sat through the entire fire, and as it's going out. Didn't know why. The rush of pride that filled her chest made her want to laugh and whoop and dance around the room. She hadn't done anything more than sit by a fire, but she had stayed. She had not failed. She had faced it and survived. She might not have saved the world or led armies, but she had made this small initial step. And I'm like, that's a big step for her.
It's huge.
The fires have plagued her since her dad's death.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
But after this, the house leaves her a little, like, trail of twigs, and she's like, what the heck is this about?
Evergreen twiggies.
Yeah, so she follows the trail.
All the way down.
All the way. And I have a quote I'm going to read.
Yeah, it's all the way down the bottom of the pit in the library.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
So this also starts on page 575.
Okay.
Down the hall, along the stairs, all the way down to the library itself. Where are we going? Nesta asked the warm air. Mercifully, even the night owls amongst the priestesses had gone to sleep, leaving no one to see her hurrying after the trail of branches. She's got to look crazy. Around the levels of the library, they twined deeper and deeper until they reached the 7th level. Nesta drew up short as the trail stopped at the edge of the wall of darkness. A light flickered beyond it, several lights, as if to say, come, don't be afraid. So Nesta sucked in a breath as she stepped into the gloom. Little tea lights wended into a familiar darkness. She and Feyre had once ventured down here, had faced horrors here. No evidence remained of that day. Only a firelit dimness, the candles leading her to the lowest levels of the library. To the pit itself. Nesta followed them, spiraling to the bottom of the pit where... This is a lot. Spiraling to the bottom of the pit where one small lantern glowed, faintly illuminating the rows of books veiled in permanent shadow around it. Heart racing, Nesta lifted the lantern in one hand and gazed at the darkness, untouched by the light from the library high above. The heart of the world, of existence, of self. The heart of the house. This, her fingers tightened on the lantern, this darkness is your heart. As if in answer, the house laid a little evergreen sprig at her feet. A winter solstice present for me.
Sweet.
And then she goes on to say, but your darkness, you were trying to show me, show others who you are deep down, what haunts you. You were trying to show them all those dark, broken pieces because the priestesses and Emery and I were the same as you.
Ooh, cute. But then I'm like, what the dang heck is the house?
I know. There's a little more.
Oh, shit, sorry.
And then she says, I'm not afraid. You are my friend and my home. Thank you for sharing this with me. Happy solstice.
Cuties.
So, I love the house.
Me too. What is it?
I don't know.
I want more explanation about the house.
I do
Can we have a
too.
house book? I'm just kidding. That would be extra as hell.
That would be a lot.
But
a little like Frost and Starlight sized book of the house, though.
About the
That'd be
house's
cute.
origin story.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was going down a weird thought process.
I need to know. You gotta
of
go.
like, if there's prisoners in the wall.
Yeah.
Or people in the wall in the prison. Maybe someone somehow got enchanted to be the house.
Maybe.
But why? I need a novella about the house. I'm torn up. But any freaking who. The house is a sentient being now, obviously. We know that for sure.
Yeah.
I guess we have for a while.
It has a freaking heart.
A heart in the darkness.
Yeah.
And its heart is dark like Nesta.
Yeah.
Stop.
She's not afraid of it.
It's so freaking cute. Stop.
It's just been trying to,
Just
like, show
quit it.
up.
Stop it. Quit.
I know.
I love it. But anywho,
Oh my God, why is everyone running away from me? I just want you to see my heart.
I just want to be friends. I want to show you that I'm like you. Why are you so hurt, House? What happened to you?
And was freaking what's the freaking creature's name?
Briaxis.
Briaxis. I kept wanting to say Abraxas, but that's not
Ataraxia?
right.
That's the sword.
That's not what I said at all.
Briaxis, yes.
Was Briaxis just protecting the heart of the house?
Oh, maybe, sweetie. Even though it's fear itself, but also
that's what better way to protect a heart?
That's true. But why? What happened to the house? Why is the house so torn up and traumatized?
I don't know.
Man,
I need to know.
We got down a hole.
Jeez,
the house hole. It has a pit, guys. Come on. But any frickin' who, okay? It's winter solstice time.
It is.
Well, it's the ball time.
Oh, yeah.
Cass, Az, and Moore are there first.
Yep.
Cass and Az are at their usual stations at the bottom of the days. Moore's. She's standing by the thrones.
Uh-huh.
And then they arrive. And I say they dramatically because it's them. Come on. Rhys and Feyre.
And Feyre's in like a freaking outfit very clearly meant to show her pregnancy.
Yeah, and her scent is wafting everywhere.
Yep.
She's flaunting that pregnancy scent.
Yeah, she is.
And is looking hot doing it, you know? Rhys, on the other hand, he's smug, arrogant, and prideful, but also violent. You all know he'll murder you if you take one wrong step towards Feyre. But then Elaine and Nesta are behind them to show that they're like part of the royal court family.
Yeah, show how important they are.
And Nesta, Cassian is like, they're both in black for night court. And he's like, man, Elaine, black is not your color.
This is not your color.
He's like, normally you're beautiful, but like, it really washes you out.
Yeah.
He doesn't say it, but that's what he's thinking.
Yeah.
And Nesta looks like a goddamn queen. I got a quote.
Okay.
It's on page 581.
Yeah.
Nesta in Night Court Black threatened to bring him to his knees. Him being Cassian, obviously. She'd braided her hair over her head in her usual style, but atop it, a delicate tiara of glinting black stone rested, slender spikes jutting upward in a dark corona. Each spike was topped with a tiny sapphire, as if the spikes were so sharp that they'd pierced the sky and drawn cobalt blood. And the dress? Silver thread embroidered to the skin-tight velvet bodice, the straps so narrow they might as well have been nothing against her moon-white skin. The neckline plunged nearly to her navel, where the silver thread had gathered to hold a small sapphire that matched the ones on her crown. The full skirts brushed the dark floor, rustling in a rippling silence. Nesta's chin remained high, accentuating her long, lovely neck. Her red-painted lips cocked in a feline smirk as her coal-line eyes took in the room, watching her every breath. She's just, like, commanding attention.
The next line is important.
Oh. Nesta seemed to glow with the attention. Owned it, commanded it.
That was
an important line. You're right. I bracketed too early.
Wow. How could you?
Boss-ass bitch.
Yeah, I love her.
God
that
damn.
dress also, I want to see it.
I know.
I need
and
it.
her fancy sapphire crown.
Yeah.
Come on. She looks queenly as shit. And that's all Cassian can pay attention to. But are you okay?
I was trying to hold in a yawn.
It was quite distracting.
I probably looked like I was having a stroke.
You did. I was worried for your well-being. Anyway, Karen and Eris both come and congratulate Feyre.
Yeah.
And Eris says his father will be thrilled to hear the news. And I'm like, is he actually going to tell his dad? Because that seems like a bad idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like he's just putting on a show.
Because they are not allies. But they are, right? In the Court of Nightmares? Or does Care not think they are? No, he does. He was involved when Eris first came to play. No, Eris did. Eris did. I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know.
And then Rhys gives Eris freaking Nesta's dagger. Mm-hmm. Her maid dagger.
Yeah.
And Feyre's like, you're our ally. Use it well.
Well, isn't Feyre in friggin' Rhys's head like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. But then she plays it cool, like, externally.
Yeah.
As a high lady would. Yeah. She's like, what the dang heck? Or no. This is later when Feyre starts questioning him. Mm. But they plan to give him the dagger. It's like another token of we're still allies, pal. And Feyre...
Well, it was Cassian. Sorry, Cassian was the one that... And it wasn't in his head. He was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Nesta keeps her cool. Both of them do.
Yeah.
but they didn't know that was going to happen. And then Vera goes on to say that she'd dance with Frager. What?
What?
Listen. I'll read you my note real quick and then it'll make more sense. Vera says she would dance with him if not for Prager's.
Frager.
Good Lord. Me and my brain as it just mixes words all the time.
Fine.
Anyway, she's like, dude, I'd dance with you to Eris.
But
I'm pregnant as hell. My oldest sister will take my place.
Mm-hmm. Well, and he's kind of looking at Elaine like, I'll take that one.
But then he looks longer at Nesta, and he's
Does he?
ooh, snap, diggy dog.
I thought he was a little, like, intimidated by her.
I mean, that's probably true, too. Anyway, they begin dancing.
Yeah.
And Nesta's killing it. She's doing wild spins and shit.
She is.
The whole room is enthralled.
Yeah. They danced at quite a few dances.
They dance a lot.
Yeah.
And she's like, look at me, I'm dancing. and Erin,
Look at me, I can wiggle.
more than a wiggle. She can freaking spin like a top. But she's killing it.
She is.
She's really doing her job of, like,
seducing
the shit out of Eris. He cannot keep his eyes off of her. He's like, whoa.
Whoa, baby.
And Cassian watching all of this, one, is jealous as shit. But two, is also like, you know, her mom groomed her to be like, to marry a prince.
Yeah.
But she is more deserving of a king, of an emperor, while he's watching all this go down. And Nesta feels like a goddamn queen. There's a quote. Are you getting one?
Yeah, this is later, though.
It's on 586. Mine is.
Okay.
All right. And she's talking about how she looks right now. She had never worn such a color on her mouth. She's wearing red lipstick. It looked like sin personified, but more had done it, along with the swoop of liquid coal over her upper eyelids. And when Nesta had looked in the mirror at last, she hadn't seen herself staring back. She'd seen the queen of the night, merciless and cold and beautiful as the god Lanthus had wanted to make her. Death's consort. Death herself.
Oh, snip it.
I was like, God damn,
Snap.
gosh it. and yeah, she's doing a bunch of spinning.
Yeah.
And
Back to the spinning.
it's important, okay? Cassian, during all of this, he says something like, she's emerging from her cocoon of grief and rage. This new Nesta might very well send entire courts to their knees. Kingdoms. Guys, Nesta's fucking wild.
She's badass.
And you're kind of messing me up now that you told me things. Because it makes sense. Anyway.
Yeah.
Eris then goes on to tell Nesta that she can't believe all the lies they're telling about him.
Yeah.
He's like,
And
don't believe what they say.
Again. Moore knows the truth.
But Rhysand, like, refuses. He only believes a truth that's easier to swallow, is how he phrases it. So what the heck happened, though? I really want to know what went down with Eris.
I do, too.
And he also tells Nesta that she's wasted at the night court.
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly, freaking
Cassian
cuts on in.
He's like, baby, I gotta dance with you
baby.
now. I need you.
He's kind of pissed and jealous.
Yeah.
But he takes over, and Eris, like, tries to deny him. Mm-hmm. And Nesta's like, well, you can't be stingy.
Yeah. You gotta share.
And she says, the music, as they start to dance, Cass and Nesta, she says, the music was no longer the most beautiful thing in existence.
You took my quote.
Oh, shit.
That's friggin' rude.
He was.
I'm gonna read the whole quote.
God dang it, do it.
This is on page 592.
Yeah.
Cassian smiled at her, and the world faded away. The music was no longer the most beautiful thing in existence. He was. Nesta couldn't stop it then, the answering smile that bloomed through her at last, stealing across her face, bright as dawn.
Oh, my God.
Can't handle it.
They're too much.
It's so cute.
Yeah. So they dance.
Yeah, they do.
And then he hands her off to Az.
Mm-hmm.
Cuties.
I know.
And Moore goes to check in on Cass after all that.
Yeah.
And they see Eris talking to Rhys and Feyre. And Rhys, like, lets them all tune into his brain.
Yeah.
He's like, radio station, Rhys brain.
Thank you for tuning in to Rhys Brain.
There's an intro. Stop. Channel.
We'll be right back after this message from our sponsors.
Who are the sponsors? I have a question. Now it needs to be a show. I want to live in Reese Brain for a minute.
Me too.
Anyway, he lets him in.
He does.
And Eris wants Nesta.
He sure does.
Real bad. He says, go ahead.
He literally offers whatever Reese wants in exchange for Nesta.
Uh-huh. He even says, I would
As
rather
his bride.
Nesta over this dagger. Like, you could take the dagger back.
I don't want
Nesta.
your death dagger.
And he says he has his reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And also, he's like, well, it could also repay Cassian for ruining my betrothal to Moore. But I'm like, his reasons, interesting.
Yeah.
I know that you want to overthrow your dad. Do you think that, like, taking a boss-ass bitch queen who has crazy powers would help in that? Or is there more to it?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
And, of course, this is when Feyre's like, dude, no, what? No, shut up, stop.
She, I'm just gonna read this quick little line. He danced 3 dances with her. Feyre squawked in Reese's brain.
Squawked. Yeah, but Reese says that he's gonna think about it and talk to Nesta.
Yeah, he says, like, that's not really my decision, but I'll talk to Nesta.
Yeah, and he makes Eris keep the dagger.
Yeah.
Regardless. But then all of that. Okay, alright. This last chapter in this section is so sweet for so many reasons.
I know.
We have come full circle from freaking Frost and Starlight.
Mm-hmm.
It is winter solstice once more.
It is.
The celebration at the river house.
Yeah. Nessa's, like, nervous to go in.
Yeah.
She's like, man, last time we were here, this was really bad.
Mm-hmm.
I was really a bitch.
I know. She has flashbacks. Is feeling guilty.
Yeah.
But Elaine greets her. She's like, you came.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, dude. I'm here.
Yeah.
And Elaine says something along the lines of, like, it's Feyre's birthday, so, like, be nice. Or something.
Yeah, she says, please don't upset Feyre. It's her birthday, first of all, and in her state.
Yeah, and Nessa says, oh, fuck you. And I was like, yes! But then they both just start cackling.
Elaine's like, oh, you've never talked to me like that before. Yeah. And they link elbows.
They, like, what? Conflict squashed.
All you had to do was tell her to fuck off, and Elaine's like, okay, well, let's be friends.
I think it just shows that we're, like, evolving past Nessa feeling like she has to coddle Elaine a little bit. You know what I mean? And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Especially because Nessa, the last time they argued, was like, you haven't done anything. Like, yeah, it was bad.
You're useless.
But she cackles. And they go into the, like, living room.
Yeah.
And everyone's chilling in some couches except Baz. He's at the door.
Mm-hmm.
And Cassian immediately gets up and offers Nesta his seat. Yeah. Which is close to Feyre. And she tells Feyre happy birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And Lucian's there.
He is.
She starts chatting with Lou. Mm-hmm. Lulu. Or L-Dog, as Sarah would prefer.
Yeah.
And, you know, he alludes to the fact that Tamlin did not take the news of the pregnancy well.
I have a quick little quote I want to read.
Okay.
About Az.
Sure.
And Elaine. We're on page 597. We can always cut some of this if we need to.
Mm-hmm.
Elaine just linked her arm through Nesta's and led her towards the family room where Azriel stood in the doorway monitoring them, as if he'd heard Elaine's sharp laugh and wondered what had caused it. I was just checking on dessert, Elaine explained. They approached the doorway and Azriel. Nesta met the Shadow Singer's stare and he gave her a nod. Then his gaze shifted to Elaine, and though it was utterly neutral, something charged went through it. Between them, Elaine's breath caught slightly, and she gave him a shallow nod of greeting before brushing past, leading Nesta into the room.
Do you think they've secretly banged?
Maybe.
They're having charged looks. She's getting her breath caught.
Maybe.
Probably not, but I feel like...
I was thinking more like she fucking, like, declined the mating bond with Lucian, and maybe now her and Az are mates.
I don't think they're mates.
I don't know,
also, I don't know. There's definitely something between them.
Yeah.
But also, isn't there in past books or something been hinted that, like, if you get denied, the mating body might die? Or am I tripping?
No.
Or, like, the denied mate would lose their mind?
That one, yeah.
But Lucian seems coherent.
Maybe.
We have limited interaction with him. But yeah, Az and Elaine definitely want to bang if they haven't already.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe they did, though.
Maybe.
Ooh, secrets.
Saucy.
Anyway, talking to Lucian. Tam didn't take the news of pregnancy well.
No. Are we surprised?
No.
Come on.
No. That's all he says really about it. And apparently, Journey and Vasa are at each other's throats all the time. Lucian seems annoyed by all that.
Yeah.
He asks Nesta about her training, and Cassian, boasts in a prideful manner and talks about the Valkyries a little bit. And Moore asks if she can train in Valkyrie style with them eventually. Yeah. And she's like, hell yeah, dude.
I love that. Yeah, Nesta's like, I think the priestesses would like to see you.
Yeah, they all love Moore. And then as the party carries on, everyone's chatting Mary, and she sees Az over by the door, so she goes to check in on him.
Yeah.
And they share this sweet moment, and she, seems to understand that he's avoiding Moore. Mm-hmm. And they're just buds now.
Yeah.
It's sweet.
Yeah, I like it. I also love that, Nesta, who I picture as the outsider in this situation.
Yeah.
Went to check on him because he's kind of being the outsider,
And Cass notices it too.
Yeah.
And is takes stock of how freaking sweet it is.
Yeah.
But then it's freaking present time, dudes.
Yeah.
And everyone gets presents, but Az gets Nesta a present.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of their cute friendship.
Yeah. Nesta Feyre and Elaine get her a present, but no one else. And then Az pulls out this little box, and he's like, here you go.
I got you something. And it's a little,
reading light.
Yeah. It's so sweet.
I love Az.
I can't with it. My heart.
I was mad at him earlier, and now I love him.
I know, I love Az. I can't be mad at him.
No.
I am still mad at Reese, though. That says something.
Too. Yeah. Is Az better than Reese?
Oh my god. No,
Hot
read
take.
ACOSF and tell me that again. Absolutely. But then we find out, you remember how we're like, what did he throw in the tundra?
Yeah. Yes, I very, very clearly remember that.
Last year's present from Cass was a tiny little book.
It was a little book.
That was an original print by Tiny Faye. And it was one in a million.
Yeah.
And he freaking threw it away.
Yeah.
And he's upset. But he wants to wait to give her present this year because he's worried she's going to destroy him. Mm-hmm. Again. But then Nesta decides to go to bed. Guys, the second half of this chapter is beautiful and also real saucy. Yeah. But Nesta goes to bed. Yeah. And she loves the room. She's like, man, this suits me perfectly, as if Feyre knew what I would want if I designed it myself. And she's like, oh shit, I had that opportunity.
I had that opportunity, and I was a bitch about it.
Facts. But then who shows up?
Freaking Gas.
Mm-hmm. And Nesta immediately apologizes for last year.
Yeah.
She's like, I was the worst. And he's like, yeah, you were, but I forgive you. It's all right. And he gives her present.
Yeah. And she's like, I assumed I wasn't getting one from you.
I know.
Like, come on.
But her present, Sarah. She pulls it out.
And it's a little music thing.
It's a symphonia.
Thank you. I couldn't remember what it was called.
And it's like a recorder. Yeah,
he went back to the freaking Hewn City the day after the freaking party and had the music players play the music again.
I know.
And then also went to some of the taverns and recorded music there.
I know. He put so much effort into this gift.
And then she says she can't take it. Oh, God. Are you kidding me?
I cannot. The whole present just is too much. It brings Nesta to tears. She's in tears. She obviously wants to say she loves him. There's this whole moment that she's like, oh, too many feelings. Oh, God. And that's when she's like, I can't take this. Mm-hmm. And she starts to imply that she's going to marry Eris.
Yeah.
And, which breaks Cass. Cass is cool.
Yeah. It wasn't just implied.
Yeah, she says it. Yeah, but...
she tells him to return it, and he's like, it's a gift, not a fucking wedding ring. And she said, no, I'll look to Eris for that.
Yeah, she's going back to her ways of, trying to protect herself because she's scared to tell him she loves him.
Yeah.
And that triggers him, and he starts yelling at her. He's like, I was fucking jealous. I was jealous of you guys, oh my God. Yeah. And... I was pissed because you deserve a princeling and not Milo born self. You've made that clear. He goes on this tangent. And then I have a very long quote from Nesta. Do you want to hear it?
The same one I have.
It's 606 to 607.
Yeah, it's the same.
All right, do you want me to read it?
Yeah.
Or do you want to read it?
I can read half of it.
All right, you can start on 607.
Okay. Where's your end?
Okay. Mine ends.
I didn't have it bracketed, so I got it now.
All right, great. This is her response to his outburst. She says, Eris is the brute. He is a brute and a piece of shit, and I would marry him because I am just like him. I deserve Eris. She says to Cassian, you are good, Cassian, and you are brave and brilliant and kind. I could kill anyone who has ever made you feel less than that, less than what you are. And I know I'm a part of that group, and I hate it. Her eyes burned, but she fought past it. You are everything I have never been and will never be good enough for. Your friends know it, and I have carried it around with me all this time that I do not deserve you. Do you want to read the next part?
You just keep going. You're a better reader than I am.
The fury slid from his face. Nesta didn't stop the tears that flowed or the words that tumbled out. I didn't deserve you before the war or afterward, and I certainly don't now. She let out a low, broken laugh. Why do you think I shoved you away? You said I was a good reader.
I take back what I said.
Why do you think I wouldn't speak to you? She put a hand on her aching chest. After my father died, after I failed in so many ways, denying myself to you, she sobbed, it was my punishment. Don't you understand that? She could barely see him through her tears. From the moment I met you, I wanted you more than reason. From the moment I saw you in my house, you were all I could think about, and it terrified me. No one had ever held such power over me, and I am still terrified that if I let myself have you, it will be taken away. Someone will take it away, and if you're dead... She buried her face in her hands. It doesn't matter, she whispered. I do not deserve you, and I never, ever will.
It makes Cassian cry. It made me cry.
Same. But this is just like unveiling the true seed and reason behind so much.
Yeah.
Like, she's finally spilling her guts to him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's too much.
Yeah, she's freaking had eyes for him even since she was a human.
And she's finally admitting it to herself and to him.
5 books later.
Good shit.
4 books later.
But it does make Kaz cry again. Cassian starts crying when she looks up.
Yeah.
And he closes the distance and says, you're not going to marry Eris. And she says, no.
No.
And he says, there will be no one else for either of us. And she says, yes. And he says, ever.
Ever.
And she says, ever. They just, like, decided to go freaking serious.
Yeah.
They're going steady.
They're going steady.
All
you
of a
just
sudden.
asked me out? Oh my God.
Absolutely. I will be your girlfriend. But this then obviously evolves.
Obviously, they gotta bang.
Obviously. But it's not this, like, ravenous, I must bang you.
No, they're making love.
They're making love, dude.
Sweet. Baby making love.
Yeah. He starts stripping her all sweetly and showing all the words he wants to say in his eyeballs. And he takes her gently. That's a weird thing to say. But it's also true. I have a small quote. Page 609.
Say it.
609.
Say it.
Say it.
Is that where it starts?
No.
Okay.
But it's before then.
Okay.
This, I quoted because I feel like it's absolutely this bond that we have not spoken of snapping into place.
Yeah.
Page 609. But he kept moving in her, making love to her thoroughly, unhurriedly. Saucy. So Nesta let all that lay beyond those iron walls unspool towards him. Thread after thread of pure golden light flowed into him, and he met it with his own. Where those threads wove together, life glowed like starfire, and she had never seen anything more beautiful, felt anything more beautiful. I'm not going to say I could, I guess, now. It gets weird. But then you could do that part.
Well, she's crying after that.
Yeah.
Freaking crying. She doesn't know why.
Mm-hmm.
Only that she never wanted it to end. Mm-hmm. This binding between them, the feeling of, yep. Then it got weird.
That's why I didn't read that paragraph.
Then it got weird. But then he says, say it. She knew what he meant. Somehow she knew what he meant. Nesta waited and... Yikes. We're children.
Yeah, we are.
I have to read it. Nesta waited until he'd thrust again, driving as... Yep, this is really bad.
It's real saucy, guys. We all know they're banging.
Driving as deep into her as he'd ever gone and whispered, "You're mine."
And I am yours is her next statement.
I was getting there.
Shit,
I
I'm
just had to turn
sorry.
the page.
Sorry.
It's fine. Yeah. Those golden threads between their very souls shone with the words as if they'd formed a harp strummed by a heavenly hand.
What?
Interesting.
That's a weird thing to say.
For it was music between their souls, always had been, and his voice was her favorite melody. Oh, stop it!
It's back to the theme of Nesta and her music, and he's her music. Ugh. But also, why the harp? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Their music.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, interesting. But they bang it out. They make love for hours.
They do.
And
she finally...
I know.
She finally asks him to stay with her.
And he does.
And he does. He holds her.
And that's where we end off, y'all.
That's where we freaking end.
That was a really good ending to this section.
Yeah.
Obviously, guys, there's something real strong between these two.
Obviously.
They won't say it explicitly yet, but we all know.
Yeah.
Mates.
Mates.
Was that secret?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just grunting.
That was... Yeah, it was no word. That was a really good ending.
It was a really good ending. That was a really good section.
I know it was.
It was a fun one.
It was. And I'm obsessed with them.
Me too.
And I'm glad that they finally have claimed each other. Because
too.
they keep doing this stupid dance. But
I
now
know.
it's like facts on facts. We're together, bitch.
Yeah.
We're
Our
going
souls
steady.
are intertwined,
Our weird
motherfucker.
golden threads. We have a harp. Come
We
on.
got a freaking harp. Sings a melody, dude.
Yeah, dude. Anyway. Next week, y'all.
Yeah.
We're finishing the freaking
We're
ACOSF series.
Finally.
I know.
4.5 months later.
Straight.
Almost 5 months.
I'm ready. I'm ready to be done. I love this damn series, but it's taken a really long time on the podcast.
I'm ready to talk about other things.
Me too. But next week we're doing chapters 59 through 80.
Through 80.
So we're going to wrap it up.
Hold on.
What?
Who the fuck needs to calm down? Who needs to chill the fuck out? What did we say last episode?
Something like that. Sure, we can say that. Yeah.
Who needs to chill the hell out? Calm the fuck down. That's it. That's the one.
That was an evolution. For me this episode,
Yeah.
I think Reeson needs to calm the fuck down.
Okay. I feel like we said the same
Did
thing
we?
last episode.
Okay, well then I'll take it back.
I have one.
All right, go ahead.
Eris. For sure.
Yeah.
Eris needs to calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
He literally danced with Nesta for 3 songs, and now he wants to marry her.
She's
Chill the
very
fuck
alluring.
out.
She did her job at seducing
I mean, I
want to
marry
out
her.
of him.
Come on.
Same. Nesta?
Hey.
What you doing, girl? Call me.
You single?
I'm married too. It's fine. I guess I would also pick then... I want to be Reese, but we said that last week. You're right.
I mean, he could still need to calm the fuck down.
He does, though. He does.
He does.
I think Eris is a good pick.
Thanks.
It's the most calm the fuck down worthy moment in this section.
All right, well, copycat.
I'm sorry. We picked the same character last week. Relax. Anywho.
You relax.
Guys, who needs to calm down for you?
Yeah, who?
Come on.
Tell me.
But anyway, who's it? Thank you so much for listening or watching.
Yes. We'll see you next week for... Hey.
For
hey,
the
YouTube.
end. Yeah. We'll see you next week for the end.
Yeah.
Please rate us on any podcast platform you're listening on. Subscribe. Follow us on the tube, on the TikTok, on the Insta, at Books and Crannies Podcast. And we'll see y'all next week.
Yeah.
Happy freaking reading.
Happy reading. A game.
Bye.